What up, everybody? Welcome to another Risk of Resources Loadout race of the week. I am Race, and I'm here with Disputed. Hello.
Hello.
All right, so we actually have a very special one for you guys today. We have a team race, but not just a team race. We have a team race with the Enigma artifact. And if you don't know, the Enigma artifact is something that changes your equipment every time that you use it to a new random equipment. As with everything in the races, everything is seeded. So we're gonna actually see some really cool communication, hopefully, between teams of like, hey, I just re-rolled into the vase or something like that, or I re-rolled into recycler, and then yada yada yada. It's like after this equipment or whatever. So pretty
Interesting.
exciting today. We've
Have
used
we
an
ever done one of those?
we've used Enigma once in the past, but we've never done an Enigma team race. So
Oh, okay.
that's kind of a twist today. Let's
That
see
should
who's
be
playing.
fun.
For blue team, we have Kens and Faku. And for red team, we have Brian and Ruddy. Some pretty good teams today. And the loadouts aren't too bad. They look pretty, what I would call, I don't know, pretty standard, right?
Yeah.
We start out with a Seeker run with the orbs. We get an Arrow Rain Huntress, Flamethrower Artie, and then end it off with a Roll Mando.
Yeah, this should be really interesting. It's always cool to see specifically Ruddy race because I think he participates in more team races than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets some really cool strategies down and I don't know. I just super enjoy watching them. The team races are always so different. There's an added factor of communication that you just don't have in the solo races, which is why I would encourage you guys to go check out these guys' individual streams today, because in the cast we can't really tap into the communication aspect as much as we would like,
Yeah.
but it is a very important part of these team races.
Agreed. Like, we can do it sometimes, of course, but like, listening to how much they communicate and what they talk about, we can usually infer decently well what they're kind of saying, but it's not the same always, right?
Hmm.
But it is exciting to see just what kind of strategies that they kind of come up with, especially on the fly. It's always really cool.
For
Um,
sure.
I need you to go make sure Faku is blue colored. And then I need you to go check to see if Brian is gonna start stream so I can tab over to that.
Okay. Blue colored in what's like just with skin tuner?
Uh-huh. Make sure everyone's their
Okay.
team color or whatever. Alright, there we go. Actually, Brian just got live. Alright, all of our races are here. Very good. Hopefully nothing happens today. Like I said, everything is seeded. Enigma has been seeded for a very, very long time. And we did some test stuff with it just to make sure today, but, you know, always crossing my fingers, I guess. There were some
Is
updates as
that
well recently. Hmm?
was Enigma one that we had to like specifically program to be seeded?
Yes. I mean, we've kind of
Okay.
done that with everything at this point. We specifically have done it with Bloom, with printers, Recycler, with Enigma. Sonorous Whispers
Bottled
was a new
chaos.
one. Bottled Chaos, yes, that one was a fun one to seed. And more recently, like the Housey Night Shrines and stuff as well, like the new DLC thing. So, oh, and Sale Star is one of the more recent ones as well that we seeded. We actually have to go in and do all the stuff with it. So I know there's going to be some questions about Enigma giving the players lunar equipment. These are okay for the special race that we're doing today. And yes, even tonic afflictions are now seeded. So if they do get a tonic and something happens and they gotta use it, well, everyone's probably getting it. So unless they have a clover or something, right?
Yeah, I think Clover's the only way to prevent that, right?
Mm-hmm. Or I guess, getting more with the purity, I suppose. But all right. Let me tab over to everyone else. They're just about to start in less than a minute. And we'll see.
Perfect. I'm excited. I love a good team race.
Yeah, team races I think are not only very fun to watch, but for the races are also very fun to play. They get to actually experience, the the trials of what it's like. Just instead of someone else, that's like a little bit more fun instead of just being in that little cell alone, right?
Right.
But here we go. We're
Like
starting up, and
red team starting.
they also have a new update as well. If they click tab, the racers can actually see what stages they're going to be going to sent by the website, which is
Huge.
really nice.
That is such a nice quality of life thing. Yeah, one thing I will say about the team races is they are definitely not as refined as the single player races. The single player races, the players almost have down to a science at this point. Um, but with the team races, we typically see slower times. Weirdly, you would think it would be the opposite since you're getting more communication and more help from a teammate, but all of that just isn't enough for the brain to process sometimes, and you actually end up seeing slower times
Mm-hmm. It's
as
it's
people get
it's
caught up in the loot.
it's a little interesting, right? Because you can just be telling me, you can be overloading my brain, me and Dispute on a team, and he's like, "Hey, there's a chest here, 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 here," and I'm just like, "I'm just trying to do TP, man. Like, I'm
Right.
struggling." Um, but yeah, it's something that I think the more we do of them, the easier it'll get. Also, a couple things. It looks like blue team is doing the House Connect Shrine immediately. It looks like red team is kind of splitting up a little bit. We've already seen like a little bit of a fork of strategy here. Two team members trying to cover two different things. We see Brian doing the House Connect Shrine, and Ruddy's going around the map to do other things. There's a Void Cradle with a key in it and a Mountain Shrine. I don't think anyone's going to do that. Brian's pulling off the House Connect off the side of the edge, because that's just how to do it on this map. Easy peasy.
Yep.
And it looks like blue team is just about to finish their shrines as well. And what did they get? They
Yeah.
get Chance Doll for their reward.
All right.
Interesting.
Did
Oh
you
yeah,
know Seeker's items are actually guaranteed in those?
yeah. I actually found out this the blacklist mod that people use, including me, actually disables that.
Does it?
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, I know something's wrong here, but yeah, you actually have to have one seeker item, Seekers of the Storm item for like the first tier, and I think it's like two guaranteed for like the upper tiers, maybe. I think it is.
Yeah. I think is it one per tier?
It might be, but it's a
Yeah, I
good
think it
way
is because
to. Mm-hmm.
I remember I made like a mod pack where I modded out all of the Seeker's items except two, and then I did a hit of the Halcyon Shrine and I fully charged it, and then just no portal spawned
Yeah.
or the potential.
It's really funny. I mean, it's a very interesting thing strategically as well because you can look at that and you can be like, okay, if I'm looking specifically for one of the Seekers of the Storm items, this is the best way to try to get one, just like mathematically, right? Like if I'm looking for a Sail Star, it's more likely to show up in this thing than probably anywhere else in the game. So
Hmm.
we
It's
also,
also just I think meta at this point.
mhm.
Going to the green portal is just going to be faster than the TP pretty much every time.
Yeah, I mean, having to sit through like the 90 seconds of just charging TP for no reason. Meanwhile, you could just get the item from the TP boss and then leave. And that's exactly what blue
You
team is
could.
doing. Ken's is already the first one out to stage 2.
All right.
And someone did a Mount Shrine. I think Faku clicked on the Mount Shrine there. But I don't know if they're actually going to fully... I don't know if they're going to fight TP. We'll see.
The nice thing about that is they've already done the green portal, so they don't have to commit to it if it ends up being a huge fight that they just weren't prepared for.
Yeah, it's
They
pretty
can just leave.
much an easy go on it, right? Just like, why not? Some not bad items here either. I'm hoping we kind of get to see, some use out of the chainsaw, which also is the other thing I forgot that is seeded. Seeded all of the things. Aqueduct is the stage 2. There's a pretty easy void seed at the start here. Not too bad. Most of our races have already pretty much finished it.
Yeah. Was there anything good in here? Or was it just pods?
There is one void cradle at least that I see. My favorite is just seeing an entire void cradle with only stocks and nothing else.
Oh, we got a void band.
Oh,
Huge.
and it looks like Ken's immediately took that one. A reminder for Seeker that we're going to see a lot here. Faku just did it. You don't take any damage when you're in Sojourn from any other external sources. So what everyone does is just, you Sojourn and then click on that health shrine. It's really easy money. If you're not like really paying
Yep.
attention to how often you could use your Sojourn for an advantage here, you're going to fall behind. So always try to use as much as you can. And that's a crit printer, right? I think
Yeah,
so.
I also saw a band in a multi-shop there
Hmm.
in the question mark. So we'll see if they find it.
And there's a Noxious Thorn on Ken's here as well, which apparently ever since they kind of fixed it recently with the latest patch, it's actually pretty good on Sojourn for Seeker. So you might see some use
Oh,
out of that here.
it procs off Soldier now.
Ooh. There was in the Void Key, there
Interesting.
was a Plasma Shrimp and Saber Spaces. And we got a Plasma Shrimp on Ken's there. I'm kind of worried about Plasma Shrimp's viability here because if they're going to use Sojourn a lot,
Right.
that means they're not going to have any shield. So
And Spaces is a guaranteed skip. I mean, not that they need it.
no, it's tough either way. Obviously, neither are as good for Seeker as they are for any other character. So we do see our first meteor going off on Faku's
Nice.
screen. It looks like
That's
as far
fun with
as
the shrimp for sure.
yeah, as far as like the Enigma portion of the strategy here, I think Faku is just trying to blaze through as many equipments as fast as he can. It seems like. Meanwhile, well, actually, everyone's using them pretty quick. And
Mm-hmm.
also, as far as the Enigma goes, I think equipment drones are the best thing, right? You give your equipment to an equipment drone, your equipment will actually cycle through the equipment drone as well, because it also has Enigma. And it's a free cycle for just picking up an equipment out of a chest or something as well. So you can get through pretty fast.
Interesting. I never
So,
really thought about that.
yeah, something that like, I guess is kind of a forgotten mechanic of, equipment drones a lot of the time, but really powerful here.
Don't you have to pick up another equipment though if you want to keep cycling through?
You do, but it does reset your cooldown, so it's the fastest way to get through your list if there's one nearby.
I think you can also like, if you wanted, you could potentially pick up Crowdfunder and just ignore Enigma.
Probably. I guess I never
I
really
think you
thought about that
can.
either. Because like it won't cycle into crowdfunder, right?
No,
I know you can cycle into Seed of Life, by the way, I believe. Right? Or is that wrong?
you can. I don't know. I haven't used it
Maybe you
since
can't.
Seekers came out.
I listen, I know you can with Beos, and that's probably what I'm thinking of, not actually Enigma.
Huh.
It might be
I don't know. I guess we'll
blacklisted.
see. Keep an eye
Yeah.
out. Somebody jumps off a cliff, cycle through. You know they're looking for the vase though for the moon.
Yeah, it seems like someone is just gonna find it and then probably stop. It seems like Reddy
I
did
don't
find a
know.
recycler.
I don't know when you stop because like if you find a vase on this stage, then you're just playing the next two stages without equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and
But if
you
you
could
find it
also
stage
potentially,
4, it's pretty good.
yeah. I
It's
think
hard to
stage four
say.
is maybe the time. Everyone's really close here.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's got a very similar build. I'm noticing.
Everyone is on around the same equipment as well, around the DML recycler points. Now Reddy just has to find a way to use the recycler here so he can get to the next one. That's kind of the same for Faku as well, though Faku actually has money to be able to do that.
Yeah.
They're very
And
fast going. Hmm?
one big difference that I'm noticing here is blue team has real pennies and red team does not.
Ooh.
Uh, which in terms of looting, like you look at blue team's items, they have a couple more, I think, than red does.
Yeah.
There's also just the unfortunate fact that Ken's picked up that void band and then they immediately found a band in that multi shop. So
Oh, Faku's kind of
they're at
low
kind of
here.
a disadvantage there. Oh,
And Faku cannot get another equipment here to help out because it's Recycler. So this is kind of a tough spot to be in. It's really uh tough. You can't get hit by anything at all here if you're Faku. One pest shot is probably lights out.
oh,
Yep,
and there it is.
unfortunate. That is the first +5 of the day. It's a blue team. Now, reminder though, I mean, doesn't mean it's over for blue team. In fact, it's kind of nice getting a +5 when you're not just solo. You know, you can have your teammate carry for you a little bit. Oh, that being said,
Oh
Faku's teammate
no,
also got a +5, and Faku's still looking pretty low here.
clock
Hasn't
is
really
looking rough.
recovered. So we might see another for blue team coming up soon. There is a rose buckler from the boss if they can kill the Dune Strider. That orb was really unfortunate for Faku.
Ah, and blue team, both of them have cleared out the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big difference we're seeing here.
Yeah. This is a little bit tough.
Those pests with Faku.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's another +5 for Faku, unfortunately.
one thing that sucks about +5ing with Seeker is you lose all of your meditation stacks.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even really think about that, honestly.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, that's potentially a lot of time spent, like if you're max meditation or something. Meanwhile, red team is kind of done with TP already, and they're kind of looting up this stage. I know there's a uke out of one of the chests that they got, which is really, really nice. It was a call out from Ready to Brian earlier in the stage. And more crits. Looks like there was a way for Ray to use the recycler, so it's on to Gubo after that.
Okay. I'm liking how blue team is looking right now.
Blue or red?
Blue?
Blue has +5s, if you're curious.
Do
And
I
you
have
have a
the
mix.
teams mixed up?
A little bit. I mean, their characters are
Okay,
blue.
red's on the left.
I
I see.
mean, yeah, all right. There you go. As another chance stall, and going for the sirens. Oh, there's no shrines and sirens, so never mind. These chance stalls are not really getting any use out of them, are they? We see
No.
the runners on the top of the screen, though, going to sirens. See Brian and Ken's both there. Ken's actually keeping some really good pace here. Unfortunate about the +5, but they're doing all right. I wonder if there's anyone's gonna go for an AWU skip here. I know there's one you could probably do. Well, I don't know. It
The orb?
depends. The orbs might. I haven't tested it, but it seems like it would work. But it'd probably be a waste of time to if you didn't know for sure. There might be an equipment they could roll into that could really easily get that done, but I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Like a DML or a saw,
Yeah,
egg. All those are basically guaranteed skips.
egg is a little bit harder, but it definitely does work if you have the positioning for it. And Brian is the first one with the TP boss on stage 4. Very
Forest
well
Tone from the
done.
TP. Also
Yeah,
got an ATG in the multi shop inside the telly. Everyone should
beautiful.
hopefully find that.
I would be shocked. There is another Void Sea at the top of the stage. It does have about like 10 enemies in it though. So I don't really even know if anyone's gonna go and clear that, to be honest. Seems like a lot of work. And I don't know if anyone has actually scouted it out enough to know if there's any Void Crittles in it anyway. So that's the thing though with Seeker. What are you looking for? Just like a polyloot? Maybe a Plarva?
Repulsion armor. All the way.
No, I mean for the Void Seed.
Oh, I see. I don't know. I do think loot would definitely help, especially for red team. Already has that uke there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that is a +5 for Ken's.
Looks like 2 +5s each for blue team, which is a little bit tough. A little bit tough.
Vagrant. That's rough.
Yeah.
Always the stage.
Yeah, we do have the beautiful Vagrant Orb bug fixer mod on at the moment. At the moment.
At the moment.
Yeah, the we figured out what it was. If you didn't hear us talk about last time, we had Gorek go in and test it. It was a double explosion for Faku. That's a plus
Oh,
5.
oh,
It was actually the scorch worms that were causing the vagrant orbs to not work.
really?
Yeah, the Scorchworm attack was actually copied from the Vagrant Orb attack. And so when the Scorchworm attack disappears, it tells all of the Vagrant Orbs to break until you restart your game.
Well, that's nice. I'm
Yeah.
glad they fixed it in the last patch. Totally fixed it.
Surely. Next patch it will be fixed. I think I have confirmation on that. Well, at least that
That's
they
good.
know about it. Faku with 4+5s here. This is not an amazing start. Stage 5
No.
TP has an overloading brass contraption horde, which is nice.
Oh, that's what you love to see.
Yeah.
Best boss in the game. Ugh. I hate fighting those so much.
There is an equipment drone on Ready on stage 4 he's kind of interested in. There are some Void Cradles here, actually, from the Void Seed. There's Needle Tick that he's going to pick up. That's not
I
bad.
see. Already also has a tonic here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe giving it to the drone to prevent the debuff.
It could be a play. Seems like what he's doing because he's holding on to it a little bit. There's been a Void Seed just about on every stage here. There's one on stage 5 as well. It looks like Brian is trying to pull in the brass contraptions into the Void Seed rather than kill them himself. Which is an interesting strategy here. It seems to be working a little bit,
Yeah.
but he's not really getting them the way he wants, I don't think.
There's that one straggler out there. They're not cooperating at all. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, how do you keep them in there? Is the question.
I don't know if you do. There is another
I,
band and a multi-shop near TP as well on stage 5.
uh, probably like okay. Ryan's done all this damage, but they're overloading. So
Yeah, they
really
just
got to lay into them.
healed on the way down. Looks like Ruddy, knowing that it's gonna be a oh man, there's a wrap printer on stage 5.
No, GG.
Yeah. So with the
That's
way
God mode.
that Sojourn works, if you reduce the damage taken with repulsion armor plates or something, you can kind of just be in Sojourn endlessly, which means you can be, invincible forever if you wanted, and it actually charges up damage, so you can do like infinite damage with it. So good. Looks like everyone that sees it's gonna pretty much go into that.
Yeah. And Ryan dealt with it. Now has to deal with every wisp in the universe right now.
And that
Not
Gilded
really
Bell
a
as
lot of
well.
AoE. Really
True.
only that Uke.
Which is pretty nice, but it's probably not as helping as much as he needs right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, red team played this super well.
So far, so far. Not to jinx him or anything, but but over the stage course of the game, absolutely.
I wonder what the difference was because their runs didn't seem that much different to me.
Honestly, it was definitely stage 3 TP and
Yeah,
stage 4 TP as well. It was those were all the deaths came from. I don't know
things
specifically
started to
though.
spiral
Mm-hmm.
for blue team around stage 3 for sure. The thing that sucks about like dying in a race like that is oftentimes if you have to cope a teleporter, um, you're just wasting time in addition to dying. And
Yeah.
sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you have to just cope it. And that's really rough when you're in a race setting because then you feel like you have to compensate and go even faster in the next stages to make up for it. And that just leads to more of the same thing happening, and it's this vicious cycle that you get into sometimes that really sucks.
Mm-hmm. And like while you're coping it and stuff, the game is just getting harder than your opponents, right? Like, so stuff. That's being said, Ken's is going to the moon, the first one of the moon, actually. They're kind of
Like,
zooming.
I just I'll just say this: look at the difference between red team's items and Faku's items. They have like twice as many.
Yeah. Well, Faku did. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say like I was curious if Brian had already like printed wraps or something, but they did. They have more wraps than Faku and still have way more items. So
And that's
it
because
is.
Faku's been focusing on surviving and
Mm-hmm.
hasn't really been looting.
You gotta spend some time to loot, and like especially with team races. I mean, you have more information about the loot. You should than normal. So should be not too much of an excuse to not get more, I suppose. There's a Dio's on
Oh,
ready, actually, a shrine near TP. That might have been a chance stall pull out of that one as well, so
oh, it could be.
interesting. Actually, with all these
Yeah,
wraps, too, Reddy's just staying all in the mushroom puddles, getting some money to get some more stuff before he leaves. There's another band right next to TP as well. There's a couple
all right.
bands, actually.
Definitely worth farming for.
And with all of the wraps, everyone just has a free pillar skip. Use your sojourn and look up. So, that easy.
Reddy's got another tonic.
And the tonics will not leave them alone. Alright,
I
Ken's the
want to see.
first one in the fight. Hmm?
I want to see Faku use this recycler at some point before they leave the stage, because
I
you
would
do
also
not want to
like
be
this.
stuck in the boss fight with a recycler. There's no
That
way to
is
cycle through it at that point.
that is kind of the worry, right? Like that is like the soft lock point. You really don't want that to happen. Alright, Brian is now in the fight. Faku I'm worried about even more though.
All right, now this is going to be a very intense fight
Yeah.
where we just see people in an orb for 20 minutes.
Charging up damage. I mean, especially like red team, they could literally just sojourn for 5 minutes and then one shot him with a band, right? Like, not
Yeah,
that they're gonna try to find a faster way to do it, probably, but I mean, you could. Another death for Faku. Unfortunately, this is just not Faku's run at the moment.
is it better to cook it or detonate it early to get the plasma shrimp boost from it?
I mean, they have so many wraps that they're really not gonna lose shield. Is the thing. Like they can use.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, they can't go forever, but they can
They can cook
last
it
a
for a
while.
bit.
Probably up until the point where, like, right before Plasma Shrimp shield goes away is probably where I would explode it.
Got all that barrier too
Yeah, like the orbs give you
with the
barrier, so you can
orbs.
just last even longer.
This is insane. It's still not doing that much damage, to be fair. It's just the insane safety of the move.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild. I'll actually be a little shocked if we see anyone die in Mithrix, to be honest.
Yeah.
There should really be no excuse. Like, you could just sojourn through the entirety of Pizza. Just, you could stay, like, directly on Mithrix and sojourn, just be fine.
Oh, Faku taking another +5, it looks like.
Unfortunate, man.
Faku is having a rough run right now.
Yeah, hopefully they can find this Dio's here and get something. Yeah,
There we
there it
go.
is. Reroll into Soulbound, which actually potentially pretty good.
Okay.
It's just a little late, right, for Enigma. They're gonna
Yeah.
have to kill some ads, I guess, to make it work, and that's not really that common. Phase 2, you'll get like a an extra equipment or two.
No No chance of a FMP build or anything.
Mm-mm.
I think Faku knows at this point that they are not looking at first place, most likely.
They're hoping Ken's can carry a little bit here. But I mean, with red team having all those wraps, the safety of Mithrix without any plus fives on their team already, this looks like a red victory for Loadout 1.
Nah,
Could be. They could die, you never know.
they could, but twice, both of
Twice
them.
each, yeah,
Yeah,
a little tough.
with God mode. I will say though, it is definitely a very slow fight. Been
Yeah,
watching
the
Reddy do this phase one for what feels like forever.
thing is, they're just really not doing a lot of damage while they're in orb, right? It's only when they exit. Unless they have like Razor Wire or Thorn or something, which Kens does have, but it doesn't seem to be doing that much either. It does okay. It's doing okay. See a little bit of bleed on that Wisp there. Alright, Brian into phase 3 at the moment, going into pizza phase. Same with Ken's. Again, no excuse for pizza deaths here.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Now Faku's on the
You're just
moon. Best of luck.
yeah, I'm worried about Faku in this fight. This is not going to be fun. If these guys have no damage and Faku has half the items,
Yeah. I mean, Faku has less, fewer bans and everything as well. Not as much crits. Um, yeah, it's not amazing. Brian is the first one done with phase 3. Pretty quick, actually. Played it pretty well there. Going into phase 4 at the moment. Has a gun in his gun and recycler both. Like if you get either of them in the Mythics fight, you're just kind of stuck with them. So,
nice.
uh-oh. Don't die here, bud.
Problem with having that many wraps is it's kind of hard to damage Mithrix in phase 4.
Yeah. Wraps are back though. Looks pretty good. They got the band, and this should be GG. Congrats to Brian for
Nice.
the first one done.
Well, I don't
So
know.
far.
Okay. Oh, Ken's has a void ban, that's right. I was thinking maybe if Ken's got a skip, but
It would be real time, I suppose, either way, but Brian is taking first here for red team.
huge.
It
We're
looks
probably going to
like
see Ruddy
Ruddy
take
gets
second,
second, yeah.
which is a big lead for red team to start off the day.
It does not mean though that blue team doesn't have a chance of winning. Blue team has all day to catch up points and get back, but it
They
like I
do.
said, it does put them at a little bit of a disadvantage here. It's not
It
a
does.
it's not a great start to have. We got the
And
loadouts.
momentum is a serious thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, usually that you see the people that lose the first loadout go on to lose in other loadouts. So hopefully that's not the case.
Hopefully it's just a
But
warm up.
there's definitely a mental aspect at play that you don't see there.
I hope it's also something that like isn't as evident in team races and stuff because they have someone else to kind of work off of, and it's not less like so mentally dampering. But we'll see. Oh, and a nice phase 4 skip for Ready there as well. Red team is looking good. We do see one tonic affliction for blue team.
Interesting.
Unfortunate.
Well, that just means they've cycled through everything so fast that they've gotten to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone should hypothetically get that tonic affliction, unless they put their tonic in a drone or something.
Oh, I know that I think Ruddy dodged one of the tonics, so that could have been a case.
If you're in Soldier and you don't take a tonic affliction, that'd be funny.
You can also dodge it as well by going to the TP, right? And like having it happen during like the load. I recall doing that when
Okay.
with like old builds and stuff.
Well, that's an important strategy to know. Doesn't really affect them too bad here, because they got the affliction after they're already done with the run. But
Mm-hmm.
we might see that come into play later. I'm hoping we get a stage one where everyone just immediately gets a tonic affliction and have to play with it for the rest of the game.
Also, one of the things that is interesting about equipment drones, like if you do have a gun, let's say, and you get kind of soft locked on another site, you could have your drone die and just give it the gun, and well, actually, you couldn't because you would have no new equipment, right? Damn.
Yeah.
All right, you still get soft locked. Let's bring in red team. Let's talk to them about the run. Hello, red team.
Hello.
So you guys got first and second. Congratulations.
Oh, nice.
How
We
was
were a
the
bit
run?
worried.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
A
really.
little bit worried
The rat printer at the end is
Yeah.
blessing.
because it's for that noxious thorn. If you got that and then the rat, that would have been GG. You would have gotten like a
Yeah.
25.
We were talking about the noxious thorns on stage 2 for a while because I think Brian hit the question mark and it was a fire band. So we both went with that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about the buff?
Well, I would love to test this run, but it's really strong.
Wait. Oh yeah, no. Apparently, one of the scrimmers got a 22-minute with just noxious thorn and wraps. So it's a little bit crazy.
Okay. Do you
It's a
reckon
whole build on its own.
we pull Faku out
Um, we
and they're
could.
suffering?
I mean, you can give them the option, I guess. It might be a while for this phase, so
Yeah, I mean, we usually let them play it out for morale, but in this case, I don't know if
this is gonna give
playing
them
this
more
through.
morale.
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, 9+5's bad.
Or
A little tough. A little tough. So right now it is 5-1. So you guys actually have a very nice lead at the moment, which
Nice.
is a nice comfortable spot to be in.
Uh,
All right. Hello, blue team.
What?
How did that run go? I ask, knowing a little bit. Kill me. All
Like
right.
shit for me.
I think it was like stage 3 and 4, right? Those are the trouble points where it started happening. I don't remember what red team's run was looking like around stage 3, but they didn't really have too much of a problem with stage 3 TP. But I know both of you guys did on blue team, so maybe there was like something missing in the build by that point. Even I'm not quite sure, but
I didn't loot anything stage 2 because I didn't see anything. And then stage 3 I rushed TP. That was a dumb decision. But stage 2 I didn't see any loot. Like,
mhm.
There wasn't that
know.
much loot stage 2. I think the reason I died is because I just didn't do target priority correctly, and then the gilded wisp is just like, or the pest was like just above my POV or my FOV, so I couldn't see them. And I died because of that.
Tough.
Red team was getting a few more items. They found a roll of pennies, I think, on stage 2, and they were farming that.
That
Pretty
probably
heavily.
was the difference, I imagine. At least early on. And it snowballs, of course, but
It does. That's a perfect example of how a run can go right and how a run can go wrong if just a few things are done differently.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really see blue team go into the crit printer that much on stage 2. I don't think.
No.
No, no. There was
Did-
a map,
did-
so I didn't want to
Did
lose
you,
the rep.
Brian?
No, I didn't go into it.
Yeah, didn't want to lose the few items I had.
Yeah. Did you guys see the Noxious Thorn stage 2?
Yeah, I got that. It helped me out in the in Mithrix for sure.
Yeah. We didn't get that, and we were really worried you guys would have like gotten like a 25 or some shit with that item.
Ken's,
Nah.
was it you that picked up the Void Band and then immediately there was a Fire Band?
Well, there was a fire band in that green tri shop with the Noxious Thorn. I think even if like whatever, if even if I didn't pick up the Vand at all there, I think I still would have picked the Noxious Thorn. Because I mean it was in the question mark in that tri shop. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually think Van was a pretty good play this run because one thing I noticed is everybody was struggling with AoE.
yeah.
It wasn't really like a gas or
that was
anything. It was just like a uke on
no.
stage 3.
There was a Void Send stage 4. Helped a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't even clear the seed.
Those
Oh, the
bells
Void
stage
Seed
5
or
were
what?
so scary.
It was up top inside the ship, outside the Void Seed.
Well,
Yeah, I mean stage 4. I was hoping that the world spawn vagrant would stay in the void seed, and it just ended up getting voided and came back. So
Tough.
it's just a bad snowball.
Anyway, loadout number 2 coming up, Huntress with Arrow Rain, your guys' favorite. I picked a good one for you. You can
thank
go
you.
start it up, and we'll talk to you guys after. Good luck, everybody.
make sure everyone is the correct color, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, loadout number 2. It is currently 5-1 at the moment, so we have red team with a little bit of a lead.
Yeah.
But let's see if they can
Maximum
hold it.
possible lead they could have.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And that is true. Alrighty, we're back on Verdant Falls. We have another Aqueduct, Scorched Acres, and then Grove later with Helmet Hatchery afterwards. So it's pretty similar to last run's stages. We'll see though how it goes. Might be a little different. We don't have the invincibility button. Actually, you know what? I'm wrong. We do have an invincibility button on
Yeah, you
Huntress.
kind of do.
Yeah, just not, I guess, long-term invincibility, I suppose.
Huntress is a very safe survivor. Like small hitbox, you can get around very easily. Main problem, especially with Arrow Rain, is just the damage early on. I think
Yeah.
stages 1, 2, and 3 are the hardest part. If you can power through those, you can have probably a decent Mithrix fight, but Arrow Rain just does you no favors on a character that is already kind of weak DPS wise.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if they go too fast without getting like enough stuff, the Arrow Rain for Mithrix can also just be pretty tough. Like they might have to just rely on using their M1 for the most part, right? And if they don't have anything that can really help them do that, it might be a really long Mythics fight. We've seen some really long Mythics fights in the loadout races with Huntress here, so we'll see. It's kind of hard because like obviously you want to go very fast and you want to go fast enough so that Mythrix doesn't have as much health, but if you have no scaling with it and your fight takes such a long time that Mythrix scales, X amount during the fight, it's just gonna snowball while you're in there. It's just gonna take longer and longer and longer.
Yeah. Better take that time getting chests and actually powering yourself up.
And there's a Gor's Tome from the House Knight Shrine at the start here. Brian was the first one
beautiful.
to finish.
That's a pretty big buff just immediately to the run.
Mm-hmm.
The earlier you can find those, the better. So he's going to be getting pretty much maximum value out of that. Hopefully.
We'll see. A good wrap from a trash shop pretty close to the House Knight Shrine and a Reckler as well. So, a Rosebuckler. We're already getting a lot of damage reduction here, which is really nice considering a lot of the new enemies have, kind of dot style damage.
Another Gore's Tome.
Oh.
I
Very
think
good, actually.
You get 2 golems, you just TP to TP.
Yeah, you can pretty much earn enough for the whole stage during TP that way.
Yeah.
And we got to remember we're doing Enigma, so they are cycling through. There was a couple supermassive leeches that they have. There was a Molotov, I believe, but nothing super game changing yet so far. I mean, speaking of, like you said, like you point out, like there's Crowdfunder that's not in the rotation. Seed of Life is not in the rotation, so they still have a reason to go and loot equipment barrels theoretically.
Card?
Right, if they're looking for something. Card, yeah. So if they were looking for something, might be wise to still open them anyway. A good crowdfunder build on this Huntress could actually be really, really good.
They could. And especially with the golems to power it, like...
Mm-hmm. Especially.
Money is not going to be as much of an issue. You see Brian already on the stage 2 teleporter.
Yep, just
Normally,
trying to...
I would say
yeah,
it's going too fast, but I think when you have 2 Gore's Tome, you push that advantage as much as you can. I think we can see him taking care of it. Got that APR earlier. Seems pretty simple. Doing it 4 minutes in, you're only going to deal with one, maybe the occasional Beetle Guard, but definitely a case where hitting it early is better.
He was actually saving that leech as well. He was letting himself get down to about 30% before using it so he can get full health here during the fight. So it wasn't as dangerous as it looked either. It looks like Ken's is leaving stage 1 as well. Now everyone is at stage 2. And Feather from
Ruddy,
TP.
Instead of going straight to TP, going around and looting a bit. Telling Brian, what's worth looking out for.
Yeah.
I assume they're probably going to play for Brian to get first here.
That might be the kind of path they're taking. It looks
like
Ruddy more in a scouting position. And now Ruddy's starting up.
No newts for Ruddy. I'm surprised.
I mean, that's a good point as well. We haven't seen, team races a little bit, but one of the strategies that we kind of like taking a look at is one of the players going to the blue portals and stuff and checking out what is going to be in there for their teammate, right? Since blue portals are seeded, if I go between stage 1 and 2 and between stages 2 and 3, I know the next 2 blue portals that Disputed is going to have no matter when he goes into them. So it's a good way to like kind of not only have more information, but be able to plan out your build. Say like, hey, next blue portal we go into is going to have a drone man, so make sure you get 5 greens. See if you can get like some scrap for it or something, or not lose any items that you're looking forward to, stuff like that.
Yeah. Or just don't go through the blue portal yet. Let's save it for a later stage because we know what we're going to get.
So there's a lot of strategy with that as well. Something that you just don't really get as much when you're playing solo. It's just like, is the item good or not, basically? And like, I can keep rolling it for sure past where my enemies are at, my opponents, but it's mostly just like, is it good?
It's a big strat, and it's something I'm surprised we don't see more often in the team races.
It only takes one good red to just catapult your run to first, usually, right?
That's true.
Good drone man or headset or something.
About a 30-second time loss every time you do go to that blue portal. There is a price for it, but
it's not free. That being said, though, it is only a time loss for one of the team members, though. If one keeps checking, right?
That's true.
So it's kind of splitting up the team a little bit that way. On to Scorch Acres. Brian is the first one there. Playing very quick today, actually.
Yeah.
Him
And
and
you look at
Ken's.
his loot. It
Mhm.
hasn't suffered at all.
Now, got news from Reddit where all the loot was and everything like that. So, just right after TP, used all of the Gore's Tome money, went to the chest, got the loot, and then got out.
That gas is gonna help here.
Mm-hmm.
Must be nice to have some AoE finally.
The thing I would have kind of wanted Brian to do maybe is before TP here, just get enough money to buy a chest just to cycle through the recycler, maybe. Maybe not. I mean, it's obviously a time loss to do that, but it's also like wasting the Enigma cycle. So it's like, which one could be more important to save time in the future? I don't know. You could have a situation where you save more time with the Enigma cycle than you do with the current cycle of events that you're doing with TPs, which is an interesting thought. But
maybe they want to see if they get a yellow or something before they decide to waste it.
That is true. It's also a macro strat here, which could just happen. But would you reroll the Mern here? That was the band anyway.
Probably.
I think with Huntress, like you're with Feather especially, you're not really gonna get hit. So
yeah.
I don't really think they need the Myrdern.
Yeah, I think there's definitely better stuff you could get.
Nice charged perforator would do pretty good, I think. And now everyone is on stage 3 as well. There is a Void Cradle that Brian is going for right after TP. It's down the bridge. The lower bridge where the newt would be. And it's Lysate. And actually re-rolled it into a Void Sent Flame.
Okay.
Not bad. The only thing I kind of like about Lysate with Air Rain is that it's kind of another jump. But with Feather, it's like, you don't really need it. And also you have the Glaive jump anyway, so.
Yeah. Definitely do not need that. Some more APRs. Just see Brian go around. Has so much money from these gomes.
Yeah, enough for pretty much whatever. I mean, probably going to leave the stage with extra money. We'll see, though. Maybe there is enough around. He's going to find some stuff to spend it on. There is a broken equipment drone on the stage as well that Ken's just spotted. And another Void Cradle across the main middle bridge to the land area. They're going to play that. Let's see what they get. And that's a poly loot, so I hope that everyone else finds that, or red team rather. But so far, I don't know if they see it. I mean, it's on Brian's screen, but so far away that might be a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Brian is leaving. Absolutely. Oh, and Ruddy just found it.
Is he going to tell him in time?
Right as Brian leaves, he's shaking his head. Unfortunate. If it was just a second later, hit TP would have had it. Oh well. Brian still is pretty far forward here, but the problem is just going to be like in Mithrix, blue team might be able to catch up with that extra damage. So
they can. I definitely think though. Brian's like almost a full stage ahead. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Poly is going to be enough to offset that if Brian is able to maintain his lead.
We'll see. I mean, I've seen some slow Mithrix fights. Uh-oh. Speaking of, Brian is looking little tough here. Lost an elixir there. Not his life yet. Looking okay. Having to fully retreat from TP, though, completely. And so...
Brian cannot afford that. He's got 2 watches.
That lead is kind of dissolved a little bit already. No healing either. So you're going to have to find some way to... come back here. I mean, an elephant is coming up on the Enigma cycle. That could be nice. A way just to try to jump in, kill the Titans, and then kind of hold the TP from there. We'll see.
You gotta try to save these watches if you're Brian.
Yeah.
You just cannot afford to lose it. Actually, looking at the builds, red team has an extra watch and APR. that blue team just doesn't have, which I think definitely offsets the polyloot. That might even be stronger than a polyloot.
Brian got
DPS
really lucky here, actually. Both the Titans were sitting right next to each other, so he was able to get close enough to both at the same time, so they didn't get to laser, which is really fortunate. Like, usually they don't really group up always like that. Sometimes, yes, sometimes no. No
Brian making a lot
recycler
of use out of
for...
this brooch here.
Yeah. Especially just killing the Vagrant Orb whenever it pops up is just a free little bit of barrier there.
I noticed Ruddy has a vase. Is he gonna try to hold on to that? Oh,
he is. So he opened an equipment barrel, put the vase on the ground. So now that Ruddy can potentially cycle through equipment here during TP and just pick up the vase after, which is kind of a nice play here.
And you get an extra life for this boss fight as an added bonus.
I mean, if Ruddy does choose to expend the Seed of Life during this teleporter, you could start cycling through equipment as well. And not to, you know. I mean, what would be cool is, well, I don't know, Brian being able to, like, go past the vase and tell Ruddy when the next vase is or something, or, like, when something else is good. And there's so much, like, time for communication here on these type of things, but the stage is probably just too short to get any meaningful information between them on this.
Brian has the vase now. So does Faku, actually. Notice blue team is starting to struggle a little bit. There's a pretty big item discrepancy here, I'm noticing.
Again? Faku has a lot of items this time.
Faku does.
Yeah. After the first run of the day not having too much, now it's loot time.
Yeah, really kicked it into gear there. A lot of greens that are just not helping very much.
And an ATG for blue team as well on the bottom side of the map here, which is not bad. An adaptive chest for red team. They're going for that one. Brian is. See if you can pull anything good out of it. Pulled out a shuriken.
Okay. Yeah, shuriken's a little weird on Huntress. This is a run I think I might go to red soups on the moon.
Interesting, even with the ATG?
The ATG is definitely good. More so for blue team. I'm just looking at their greens right now, and aside from that band, they don't really, and the feather, I guess, they don't really have anything that's going to help them with Mithrix. And the band isn't even going to do very much because they don't have a way to proc it consistently.
Well, they do have the shuriken. And there's a Dios. I mean, Brian does. Are we talking about blue team?
I was talking about blue team.
Blue team.
But a shuriken with the band, like, even that, though, first of all, hitting your shurikens is kind of hard in the first place, but also, it's just not that much. You're not getting a crazy amount. You're getting, like, a ballista shot, basically.
I guess it depends on what red soup they could find, but I mean, extra damage is extra damage kind of thing. Is just how I'm seeing it. I do like
or something. I think that'll help a lot more.
Potentially. They do have the poly loot, so they do have some damage multiplication here, though. Ruddy is trying to scrap underneath a Vagrant at the moment.
Did Brian see something on this stage?
I don't think so on the way there.
It looks like Brian's just gonna try to hold on to this face.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe drop
it's
it
the
for an equipment
biggest time save. Just skipping pillars.
This is our only hatchery of the day.
Oh, good, actually.
Yeah, I know you don't like this map.
I just think it's very red. It's like it has the abyssal problem where it's It's extremely red, and it makes the bitrate go wild.
That's true. YouTube encoding does not like the stage either.
There are some pruners they started next to, I think just Broach and Stake, though. Mountain Shrine that I don't think anyone's going to hit. I don't know what the TP item was for Brian there, but it's an item he already had. Maybe a Bandolier.
Oh. When did Red Team get Dios?
Oh, it was last stage. It was right under the TP. On just like the shelf under it.
Okay.
In a chest.
Yeah, Faku got it as well. Nice. Brian almost done with this TP and has a vase ready.
It looks like everyone is holding on to their vase. It looks like Ken's the only one without it. I don't know if they use the vase or if they're not to the vase yet. I've seen the cube earlier on at stage 3, so maybe Faku told Ken's like, hey, there's a vase coming up, and Ken's like, alright, I'll just like use the cube when I need it for the TP and then try to get it after or something like that, maybe. Seems like they are more aware of the order. I don't think they would just stop using the Enigma cycles just cause. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I want to see Ken's use this cube here.
And Brian, by the way, is on the moon.
Brian has been playing so well this run.
Yeah, I mean, Brian also got first on the last loadout too. Brian's been just playing very well today.
Good to see it.
And here's
Definitely.
our vase. Don't miss. Okay.
Been practicing a lot, I can tell.
Mm-hmm. And with an elephant, they get a Prion for the next one after that as well. And that's another reason actually not to take Lysate, in my opinion. With fuel cells, you have lower equipment cooldown, and you can store charges like Brian did with the vase there. So you can kind of skip past some things. So I didn't really think about that at the time, but yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan of Lysate here.
The thing that sucks about the random equipment is also you get random cooldown. So Brian does have a Prion here, but he's going to have to wait the full 120 seconds. Well, I guess a little bit less because of the fuel cell, but you're going to have to wait like 120 seconds for a Jade Elephant or something stupid.
Yeah, a Gubo coming up here next, which is also a pretty high cooldown equipment. What, 100 seconds on that one?
Yeah.
A little tough.
Not as high as Unstable Transmitter. Not even an equipment.
What is the cooldown on that? I don't even remember.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, that's right. I knew it was in minutes, but... Prion level cooldown. Like, meanwhile, you know, I know blue team's doing fine here, but Brian's halfway through the, more than halfway through the first phase of Mythics already. It looks like, yeah, oh, Ruddy's really low here. Ruddy did lose the watches. Ruddy does have a Dios, so it's not like this is going to be danger of a +5, but losing the watches is really tough. I don't think...
Minus 40% damage.
Yeah, it's not going to cost Ruddy 5 minutes to lose the watches, but it is a massive time loss either way.
Gonna cost him a couple.
Yeah.
For sure.
Looks like what we're talking about, Ken's did have the vase coming up, and they knew that, so they're just kind of waiting to cycle some other stuff.
I think that's as bad as the death for Ruddy there.
It could be.
Oh, there's this crit printer he's looking at.
Right, also just have a recycler here, and, well, I mean, 30% crit, it may not be as good as 2 watches, but hey, it's some damage. It's some damage to definitely make that up. Though you are losing time by going down here and printing, so something to keep in mind as well.
I think, is this why he scrapped on Grove? I'm guessing it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either that or looking for some soup or something, but actually you don't check soups here because you don't want to use your vase to go over there and you'd have to walk.
That's right. Oh, use that recycler before you go, Roddy. Please, I'm begging you.
No, he has the vase on the ground down there, so he
Oh,
swapped it
that's
out.
right. Yeah.
hmm
Meanwhile, everyone else is in the fight.
Yeah, I don't know what Reddy's doing here. Looting too much, perhaps. Trying to find some, like, giga item to make the fight super, super quick, but doesn't look like the gamble is paying off. I mean, the thing is, Reddy also knows that Brian is going very quick here, at the very
Yeah.
least. So he knows that, him doing this is not completely throwing or whatever. He's like, okay, at least, worst case scenario, one of us is doing really well. Like, I'll take a gamble here, see what happens.
I mean, blue team doing a good job right now playing for second and third.
They are.
Which,
They are.
if that happens and Brian gets first, it's just deadlock and the scores remain the same basically. Each team gets the same
No,
amount of points.
I
Right?
think it's. Oh, maybe actually. Yeah, it would be. Sorry, I was thinking of something else.
So, and Kent has been playing really quick.
Go
I've
tell
been
Brian
noticing.
that he can kill the thing in the pillar. He's in help desk.
Okay.
So, of course, there still is that bug where wisps spawn in the pillars for some people sometimes. Brian did try his best to kill it and couldn't, so allowed him to do that so he doesn't get soft locked. So
We should see if we can implement a fix for that.
I mean, it's a little tough. We could probably look into it a bit more. I think most of us thought it would be fixed by now, is the thing, but that's how it goes. That's a dangerous assumption. So
It is a dangerous assumption.
meanwhile, though,
There's
Brian,
still a wall missing in this arena.
there are two walls actually. There's a wall and a floor.
Yeah.
But Brian is doing very well here. Already almost halfway through Mythic Phase 3.
Ken's is gaining ground though, I'm noticing.
Ken's already starting Phase 3. So
Was like a full phase behind in phase 1 and is
it's
now
that polyloot.
less than half a phase.
That polyloot's coming.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Well,
They also are the only ones that did not find the Dios. So that's a very, very unfortunate
right.
+5.
And rip watches as well. Caster
Yeah.
curse, man.
Oh,
I
that
think Kens
hurts.
could have done it too.
We'll see actually here, because if they finish the fight, we'll know. Oh, Brian. Oh God. Brian's dash there, like laterally through pizza, was scaring me.
That sucks for blue team because now red team, like Reddy's probably gonna
Snagged
beat
third at least.
I don't know. Yeah, everyone's got a Dio.
Yeah. Oof. That hurts, man. The only person without the Dios is the one that needed it. So far, anyway. I don't know. It didn't look like Kens would snag the. I know they lost watches and all that, but it looks like Brian would have been a little bit ahead here anyway. I imagine Kens would have just been a tiny bit behind.
I think so, but it would have been close at least.
Oh, it would have been very close.
I mean, there's a capacitor here.
Oh.
Which could have made a difference too.
That's tough. Always
And
very, very sad to see.
It's probably going to lead to blue team falling further behind here, which is really rough.
But I mean, we've seen some good gameplay from them on Loadout too. I mean, they could come back. They just it's puts them in a spot, man. Puts them in a vice.
Oh wait, if Faka gets a skip here,
potentially that Lysate coming in. Oh, it did not skip. That's the thing about Air Rain. I don't think it's a very consistent one.
So we are probably going to see Brian in first, Faku in second. I'm guessing Ruddy in third, Ken's in last.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I don't think it would have mattered anyway. It looked like Faku was on the 27th minute already. Meanwhile, Brian is not even to that point yet.
Yeah, they start a little bit earlier.
And very close though. Faku played very well this time. They needed this because that first round was painful.
Yeah, it's not worst case scenario like last time. Faku's going to get second, and they're going to get a few points on the board. And maybe Ruddy dies twice in phase 3. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen within the same pizza.
Sounds like you have something against Ray or something. Surely not.
No, I don't hate Ruddy.
Just glory for blue team, type.
I don't blame him for losing our last team race.
Oh, okay. Was that a year ago?
That's
Still
actually
holding on to
incredibly
that?
fucked up because he had like 20 points and I had 0.
Oh man. Yeah, I think Ray's doing fine here. Again, it's just really hard to get caught out here and get a +5 and you have a Dios. All these things. Let's get Brian's time on the board soon. What up?
Yeah. Damn. That sucks. It was just that orb, I guess, blasted him. That was really sad to see.
Well, we're gonna bring in blue team in here first, so we get to hear their side of it. Actually, I think I liked maybe blue team's build more, if anything. It's just like Brian
Yeah.
went so fast.
They went really fast, and Brian didn't really sacrifice loot. Which
No,
is, if you can do it, that's what
that's
you
the
want
play.
to do.
All right. Hello, blue team.
Hey.
What up? Man, Ken's that +5 at the
Yeah.
end. So
Want to-
obviously you are aware that there was a Dios too. And
Yeah.
you were the only one without it, and unfortunately, you were the only one I think that needed it. It was just like that cosmic kind of like thing, the way it works out. But you guys did really good. You guys were pretty much keeping pace the whole time and everything. You guys were close. And in fact, if you had gotten that phase 4 skip, you would have been just seconds away from Brian. But Brian kind of just sped ahead of both of you and got first.
Brian went really fast, but I think both of you at the Mythers fight could have overtaken him at different points.
Mm-hmm. It was close. It was not too far off. And Reddy's going to finish here a little bit later, but I think that +5 means that you get second and fourth on this one. But it was very close between all of you, especially real time. I noticed, Faki, you had a way better loadout than last time here. Feeling better.
Yeah.
Working up.
Yeah. We're up a little bit. This is good. You guys had also a lot of loot. I liked your guys' builds more, I think, than red team as well. So you guys had some good stuff.
You had a faster Mythrics fight. Brian just got there so quickly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was even by like stage 3 that Brian was almost a stage ahead of like everybody, which was crazy. It was just the early Gore's Tome play. I think the difference was in stage 2 that Brian went right for TP using the Gore's Tome drops.
That was correct.
Yeah, and then Ruddy was actually scouting the stage for him on stage 2 to tell him like what to get. And so all you had to do was just go right to those chests, pick them up real quick, and then leave. So super quick.
Yeah, I'm glad I looted before stage 2 TP. I definitely like the amount of times I've hit a stage 2 or stage 1 TP early with arrow rain, thinking that I have damage, but forgetting that I have arrow rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's tough. All right, let's bring in red team right now. Hello, red team.
Hey, Red.
Hello.
So, Brian, you got first.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And
Nice.
Ruddy, I'm still waiting on your time. I think third on that one, which is not bad. So, yeah, you got first and third on that one. Brian, you just went really quick. You were about a stage ahead. We were talking about this by like stage 3 almost. It was just that using the Gorst Homes and hitting TPs really fast from stage 2 onward was just kind of keeping you in the lead a little bit. And you kind of held that until about Mithrix. Even though you missed the poly loot and a little bit of damage, like you kept it. It was close though. Blue team almost caught up to you in the end, but just by a little bit. But you were just barely keeping that lead there. So really good job.
Seeing you miss out on that poly loot was tragic because
Oh my god.
we saw Ruddy walking up to it right as you were hitting the teleporter.
Brian was talking about a different void cradle that had a void scent. So when I saw that polluted dropped, I was like, oh shit, he's gone already, hasn't he?
And then I tapped it, and then he said, "I'll polylit shot." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's not good."
So
Ruddy,
close.
I really liked your play on stage 4 with saving the vase. You picked up the Seed of Life for that boss fight, and then went for the vase again.
Brian
Very
said he was
clever
having a
way.
bit of trouble, so I was looking for a equipment to use, but then it was just a Seed of Life, so kind of useless.
And then breaking watches on stage 5 was almost as bad as the death because you lost those watches there, which really slowed you down. You had that crit printer to make up for it, luckily, but yeah, super well played, guys.
Fairy at the
Down
bottom.
the bottom on stage 5.
There was this like recycler down there in the multi shop you picked up for a bit as well, and then did some things. I don't think you rerolled anything good on stage 5 or got anything else. You went like all around, and it was just like kind of whatever items, and you're like, all right, well done. At the moment it is 9-3 at the moment. Red team in the lead. You guys can definitely catch up, but it's a little bit of a difference at this point. You guys can win by a lot too. Just saying. Don't let the morale hit you or anything like that, but a little bit of difference. I'm also surprised that you, especially Ruddy and red team, you guys haven't clicked any blue portals yet.
Nah.
Yeah, I was thinking about it before the race, but just the loadouts are
just kind of
without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, just curious, I guess, on the general strategy of it.
We'll see if you change your tune on Artificer.
Loadout number 3 with Flamethrower. Your favorite. I hope everyone's going to use the new skin. Very cool. Faku,
this skin goes hard.
Be blue. Your blue team.
Wait. Oh, fuck. I did win blue. The first one I did win, right? Or my press?
You did.
Okay. Yeah, the second one I forgot.
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, you guys are ready to start, and we'll see you guys after. Good luck.
Good luck.
Look, guys.
Loadout number 3. Alrighty.
It's always a Flamethrower.
Always. That's just how it works out. 9-3 right now. I mean, I think we're gonna have to see blue team get first and second on at least the loadouts. In both, not necessarily both, right? At least one. To tie it up, we need to see them get at least first and second, and then get at least first and third. So
a mirror of what we saw.
Yeah. We do need in both loadouts for someone in blue team to get first, though, in both. That is true. So we'll see.
If red team gets first at all, they just guaranteed that loadout that they're going to maintain their lead.
There's just not enough time, not enough loadouts left.
Even if the other player gets fourth.
Yep.
There's
unfortunately.
such a huge advantage to first. Brian has 6 points right now.
Yeah, Brian has gotten first
The
twice.
man is unstoppable. Really seen him evolve as a racer.
Yeah, it's mostly just keeping that consistency and not getting the +5s. We've seen from the very start
Yeah.
that Brian has gone very fast. That was never an issue, but it's mostly when they stop dying as much does a racer like really get those really low times very consistently. So doing a very good job here.
Both sub 30s on 2 like suboptimal runs, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, immediately getting a vase here. I don't imagine they're gonna try to save this the whole game. That feels like too much.
I think Ruddy, what he did immediately, Ruddy or Brian, one of them used the vase to go hit the blue orb, or try to go up top, try to get
That's
that one
smart.
from the newt, which is like, hey, all right. I mean, it saves time, uses an equipment.
Well, actually, you have to do teleporter to do that, and if they're gonna go through the green portal,
oh, that's true. I guess that's also why we haven't seen as many blue portals show up in the team races, because like they're going through green.
at least on stage 1.
Yeah, at least on stage 1. It does
Green
like
is really only a thing on stage 1. Here's
does
occasionally on
lessen
other
it
maps,
out
but
though. Like
it does.
you're only gonna have like a couple stages to even check blue at that point, and even have your teammate going after, you know. So I don't know. What were the items for the House of Night Shrine? Ah, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, Bungus
This is
knockback
a-
Feign and Scythe.
There's a run where I might use that vase to like try to get the item from teleporter and then go to the green portal or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of greens that just make arty. Bans are so important. ATGs, all that good
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
But specifically bans is what you're looking for on arty.
I kind of have
And,
always viewed arty builds kind of like similar to loader, right? You kind of want the
backup
bands, the
mags.
backup mags, yeah, just like the big
Ooh,
boom. There's a watch burner on
There
stage
is.
1. It's behind that little rock. Both teams have found it, so it looks like both are gonna go in fully here because they only have a couple items, so
they do.
no reason not to. It's a pretty good start though, definitely.
That is a good start.
Unfortunately for Brian, him picking the scythe out of the House Unite Shrine made it so that he couldn't get an extra watch instead of one of the other wet items. So it looks like Falco's actually not going all into the watch burner and actually saving a bit here, getting only one watch and keeping the Bungus and antlers, which is interesting. We'll see how that kind of plays out.
I noticed Ruddy still has his vase. Which I think is smart to hold on to, especially if you know there's a watch printer.
Is that the
like,
second vase
do
though?
some looting.
Maybe there was. I thought there was one at the start. He's using it here
might
already. So. And
Yeah.
after the caffeinator, we
I think
see
it's the
a
first one.
meteorite.
Which is nice. You got a juicy cooldown on that.
And you can kind of just jump above the impact zones. There's already in kind of float there, so it's all good.
You can. I think it's actually one of the worst ones to get just because you have to deal with that cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not
longest
proportional to the damage of the effect.
No. We see Ken's just using it immediately, just trying to roll into some of the other ones. It's Gubo
That's
after,
smart.
which again, you know,
Yeah.
long cooldown. That antler shield printer, I looked at that about 3 separate times, even as someone was like right above it, and I was like, "Is that a crit printer?" Like,
No, wow.
It looks so much like it when it's spinning.
Brian.
Yeah, it's getting another watch there and being like, I kind of wanted something else.
Basically having shaped glass right now.
Yeah, gotta be a little bit careful. You don't break those. Breaking those watches is gonna be, man. I don't want to say an
That's-
immediate loss, but it might be.
Yeah. Well, where that's his only items, it's definitely rough. Oh, look at that. And then there's some APRs on the stage too.
Yeah, Ken's has 2 of them, and that's a lot of damage multiplication there, so...
If Brian can find those, he's just good for Mithrix, I would say. Maybe get some speed, but damage-wise, he's there.
It's so crazy.
You go quick enough.
Those, at least one of those AP round chests was a little bit out of the way too, so I don't know if they're gonna be ones that red team finds.
Ruddy has 2 bleed, which is not amazing on Artie. Oh, and ignition tank from the teleporter.
Ooh.
With flamethrower. You don't have the flame M1, which sucks.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's some way to get some damage there, I guess. At least look at how much damage Ken was doing. That was insane.
This would
Definitely
be a very
the most
good
damage.
seed for an Artie record attempt.
Yeah. If they can just I mean, what are we hoping for them? I mean, obviously
There's another ignition.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow. It's on the island where Faku is. I mean, obviously we're hoping everyone gets the vase by the time they get to around stage 5, stage 6. But what are we hoping to kind of see in between there? Like anything that would massively help out someone's run or TP or anything like that?
Speed. Speed is so important on Artie.
I mean, in terms of Enigma.
It's important on everybody, but... Oh, I see. I know, gun would be nice.
That's true, actually, because you can get a gun from Enigma. Getting... And what are the stages we have here? Ooh. Silver Poles and Grove do not have very amazing boss items. There is a Mired Urn you can get. And then Sky Meadow, kind of the same deal. We're not going to really see anything like too impactful, unfortunately. Like no Churf, no Molten Perforator, no Little Disciple or anything like that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold my tongue. You can get a Wisp event on Grove and maybe get a Grove Tender that way, but doubt it.
Printers are a thing as well.
I guess that's true. Only for the next 2 stages, though. But we'll see. Yeah, I agree, maybe. I mean, maybe even getting just like a recycler reroll into like holding it for some item or something on a stage. Like if I'm ready or something and I get the recycler pretty early and then I move past it and then later I find that there's a red on the stage, I'll be like, hey, you know, Brian, there's like a red, hold on to the recycler or something. Or like if I find a red first, I'm like, hey, if there's a recycler, you know, maybe check it out.
Yeah. I'm noticing everyone is kind of going a little bit slower on the Loadout. Faku first one at stage 3, 9 minutes in.
It's funny that you're like, man, they're going slow, and it's stage 3, 9 minutes thing. For the majority of the player base, they're like, what? Oh, there's a card here in a multi-shop.
Ooh.
Right next to spawn. I don't see anything on the stage that needs it, though.
Brian found both APRs.
Oh, beautiful. So, Ruddy should have that info then.
It has some scrap potential, too. I just want to see him find gas. A singular gasoline would go so far right now.
The AoE would be really, really nice. Because that is the one thing they're missing right now, right? It's just AoE.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have the teleporter in the cave, so boss might spawn above. We'll see.
You definitely need that AoE on Artie. Got that slower fire rate. That just makes it so hard to deal with anything on the later stages, especially when you're kind of taking your time in a run like this.
Mm-hmm.
You need something. Artie's rough without it.
Looks like Ken's has spotted a Void Cradle on stage 3. They're kind of not going to the TP as fast as their teammate is, and I was right. There's a Dune Strider up top that is just not in the teleporter. Oh, man. A little bit tough there.
Looks like Brian is starting the Tully.
We can kind of see there's like a flip-flop, right? Brian and Faku are the ones kind of pulling ahead, and Kens and Ruddy are the ones kind of scouting a bit more and taking the time before TP a little bit. Which is really interesting. Brian taking the more aggressive approach and just going up on top of the cave here to deal with the Dune Strider. That damage is really, really nice. Oh, that Dune Strider leveled up mid flamethrower there. That wasn't the best. It wouldn't have died anyway, but it was close. And there's the gas.
Nice.
The chest that everyone spawns on has gas in it, which is really funny.
There's also that void band, which I think is gonna help a lot here actually.
Yeah, they don't have a band at all, so this having just some nice AoE.
Yeah.
The gas.
I hope everybody finds either the Vand
or
the gas. Okay, there we go. We got a Mern.
Look at Faku's screen. We have an issue. We have a big issue. Oh, those watches almost broke. Faku needs to just hold on a little bit more. Make sure the Dune Strider dies. Just float in with the flamethrower, and it should be good. Yeah, there we go.
You definitely, for these guys, you want to make sure to invest in healing. Try to protect those watches as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. And speaking
Ruddy,
of watches, yeah. Not only is that a +5, but that's a minus watches, and that's the worst thing that could have happened for Ruddy here.
Yeah, that's awful. At least Ruddy still has the APRs. Having that urn would have helped there.
Oh,
tremendously.
Yeah. Just that Templar spawned behind and in midair. Pest got him as well. Just
if you're red team, you just gotta play for Brian to get first. If Brian gets first here, you can guarantee the win.
Oof. Tough. That's a lot of pressure on Brian's shoulders, though. I mean,
it is
just having to not break these watches, essentially. You hold on to them, you can probably get first if you just play decently well.
I'm noticing Brian isn't really cycling through his equipment. He's been holding on to this forgive me please for at least a stage.
It may have been a scenario where that was just kind of a tough stage, and he may have forgotten about it. That's also the thing. If you forget about Enigma, suddenly you're just way behind everyone else.
Right.
So it's just like this other layer of things to remember on top of already a very stressful experience.
There's a gas in the potential.
Ooh, very nice. It means there is at least 2 gas on the stage.
There are. Red team hasn't found either.
This shrine is scamming Kens at the top middle of the map, so they probably told Faku about that. Do not play that. I'm surprised that Faku didn't want to go after the key in the other multi-shot, but I guess it's one of those scenarios where Faku probably just doesn't find too many keys because of how fast they go. But I think with team races with 2 eyes on the map, you usually, or 2 sets of eyes, you usually have a lot better chance of finding the keys. Yeah, an interstellar death plant.
IDP, yeah. And then finding the gas as well.
That would have also been very nice before TP. There is a cleansing pool here. I don't think there's a lunar pot on this map, though. They could have gotten a pearl if they had scrapped the beads. Oh, I know why Faku didn't get that key, because it's looking off over the map. It'd just fall off.
Welcome to Seekers of the Storm.
It looks like, though, everyone did a pretty decent job of looting this map. I don't think anyone left this map without looting or going through most all of it, which is really interesting. Everyone's kind of prioritizing loot a lot more here over the time.
Everyone took their time for sure. There's a feather in that multi-shop.
Well,
probably going to be worth it to take the time to grind for that.
Oh, easily. That's one of the best items you can get in this scenario. It's obviously you can, hover with Artie and you can like jump off the ramps and hover that way in Mithrix, but having just a feather and just hovering over his head pretty much permanently. It's not Ion Surge, but it's as close as you can get, really.
Mm-hmm. Brian has got a lot of safety on those watches with the IDP and the Mired Urn.
Mm-hmm.
Healing should not be an issue, at least in this phase of the game. Once you get to Mithrix, it might be a little bit harder, but
yeah.
You can see blue team is starting to push ahead here, which is good. They need to if they want to try to secure the win.
It looks like Brian
Ideally, they get
is
first and second.
Yeah, looks like Brian is slowing down a little bit more. I mean, I never was talking about it, but like it's strange to see Brian loot so much, right? Especially over the last couple stages. It seemed like he took the most time stage 3 more than anyone else, because I think he might have been one of, if not the first person into stage 3, and he was the last one to leave. So
I know Brian has told me in the past that he does not feel super comfortable with Artie.
okay. I've heard the opposite. I've heard people say that he's very good with Artie. So it's kind of like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see which version of Brian we get today.
Yeah. So far, it's been a pretty good one.
Yeah, first place twice in a row. We could be looking at a Brian sweep today. Who knows? There is a multi-shop with some bans in it, but everyone in this lobby actually has Void Band. So it's not that much of a damage increase. It's okay for procs and stuff if we have like more ATG stuff or things, but yeah, it's not gonna be great. It's only 100% extra damage multiplier there.
I want to see. I wonder why Brian isn't using his equipment. Does he have a vase lined up or something?
And maybe Reddy found a vase or something. Maybe he's been just saving it. Maybe it's just like a big play. Who knows?
Okay, I hope that's the case.
I also hope he
he's
doesn't
not just
forget.
forgetting to cycle. Because I've been watching these guys cycle, and I haven't seen another vase yet.
I mean, I don't know. It was like, what, around stage 2 that happened, or?
It was stage 1 that we got the first vase.
Yeah, I don't know then.
And Brian has been holding on to this Forgive Me Please since at least stage 2.
Maybe he's got something cooking, who knows? I agree, I hope he doesn't forget. Meanwhile, though, look at blue team and how synced up they are on their equipment right now. They're literally, by the second, perfectly synced with their equipment on the same one in the same second.
That's crazy.
That is absolutely wild. The synchronization between blue team. Oof, they're literally just cycling as fast as they can together.
That's smart.
And is that another watch printer on stage 4? It is. So Faku is going back into it a little bit more here.
Okay. That would help already.
Definitely. And he sees it. It's right in front of him. But I mean, it also sucks too, right? Because you have to spend your other items to get it. It's not like it was free to lose those, but it's tough. It's tough.
You see blue team going back for the feathers.
Brian is, looks like, as well. Actually, everyone is right now. Everyone's completed TP and is just working their way back towards the feather. There's a shuriken in a multi-shop as well that blue team had gotten right here on the side. I don't know if red team is going to be able to afford that. Or see it.
Brian is definitely going to be able to.
Ruddy barely he has enough money for it. He did mark it, so he does see it, but
Brian's going over to it.
And it looks like Ken's the first one to leave on to stage 5.
Ken's has been playing pretty fast today, I've noticed. Even though their score doesn't reflect that because of the +5s, they have been consistently like within like a minute of first place by the end.
I mean, if you look at the times for Loadout 1, for example, their 2 +5s there mean that they would have been between first and second there, and they would have been right between red team. And if you look at Loadout 2, their 5 minutes would have meant pretty much the same. Well,
Yeah.
they would have been at like the
Well,
29
the
point.
watches.
Oh yeah, the watches.
watches
So they, yeah, they're
really hurt
living,
him there.
living better. So yeah, I mean they've been playing very fast.
Instantly going to TP here. Horde of Elders, gotta love it.
Yeah,
Welcome to
that's
Sky
just
Meadow.
becoming a thing now. For it had, is it a Secret of the Storm that we've been getting so many not Blazing Elder, but those Lemurian Elder hordes every time.
Oh, look at that. And
What?
Kens is baiting them off.
Which is
threw one
what
off
you
the
should
cliff.
do every time. I was talking about this, it was last week, right? Where we had 3 Elder Lemurian TP events, and 2 of them were on Sky Meadows, and the best play every time was just to sit off the side of the map, pull them off. You don't actually need to find them. It just takes way longer. It's way more dangerous.
It is. Oh, this is making me nervous, Kens.
So, ooh.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. You kind of want to be a little bit more in the middle of the rock bridge as well. The rocks can also help push them off if they don't immediately walk off themselves. But the elites are down, and that's an easy
There we
TP
go.
for Kens there with a
Another
band as a reward.
band.
Yeah.
So many bands this run. Brian still holding on to this FMP for dear life.
So what Brian did was a little bit interesting as well. Brian went to the top of that little stone structure that they're next to. The elders popped up using the geysers, and then the elders can't really jump off of that very easily, so they went to the very top of the map with their pathing, trying to get down to Brian, and Brian's just able to kind of shoot them from here, and they're kind of just stuck up there in that one vent. And if anything, hopefully they'll fall off, take almost lethal fall damage. And that's a +5 for Faku, unfortunately.
No.
It's those Elder Lemurian events for Faku. This is what happened last week as well. Faku died a lot to these. Yep. Faku just has to pull it off.
Faku needs to get at least 3rd here.
See what Ruddy is doing here. Oh, that one for Ruddy just didn't want to walk. There we go. And there we go. Both of them just go off the side. Easy peasy.
One thing I do think blue team definitely has at this point is the cycling. I'm not sure where Ruddy is. I think Ruddy's a little bit behind blue team. And Brian hasn't been cycling at all. So Brian's probably going to have to do full pillars. He's just leaving.
Faku again dying to the same elder.
No.
It's really, I need to shake Faku and just tell him to push the elders off the edge. This is like between last week and this week, this has been like 10 deaths to elder hordes on this map. Just not pushing them off the side.
I want to see if Brian had some kind of play in mind here. But yeah, the pillar skip is going to be really interesting because everyone's going to have to start pillars, I think, and then just hope they get a vase at some point. I do see a couple people have egg, but
it only gets you halfway up, so
yeah, not enough. Oh, and there's a vase for Brian. So
he was holding
onto that FMP. He had a method.
Nice. It was from early on.
Not good for blue team.
No, it's not. I was curious about that too, because I'm like, there's no way that like he's doing that on purpose if he doesn't know there's a vase. So it's either he kind of just forgot, or he was doing the optimal thing. So I'm glad to see that they had a plan going, and that's what we wanted to see, right? Like we wanted to see some really cool plays with Enigma, and that's probably the biggest winning play that we've seen so far. It's gonna save Brian, because look how slow Brian is. Like in terms of walking speed, he's not moving at all. The other players on blue team are gonna have to walk all the way across the moon, and then do pillars.
Yeah,
dude, he just saved
Brian
so much.
Oh wow!
minutes saved.
Meanwhile, blue team has been frantically cycling through the whole time, and there's a recycler,
Oh,
which
and
is
they're
gonna
stuck on the moon.
halt their cycle.
They
Well, I
have
mean, they
to
could
play soup.
potentially they could reroll a soup, but that's on the other side of the map.
Man,
And they're not exactly beating either.
that's tough. And Reddy's in the same position, but Reddy has the recycler on stage 5. So we're going to be able to see him see what's next. Maybe trying to just hope get a vase.
Ah, that's so unlucky getting the recycler like first thing on the moon.
It's tough.
At least it happened before they went to Mythic, so they have an option of potentially cycling out here, but
Reddy just looking for anything to reroll, finds something, and gets a prayer bead, and it's a capacitor next, which isn't bad. It's not a vase, though. It's unfortunate. I mean, look at how far ahead Brian is. That's so insane.
That's such a big play.
It's a game-winning play, is what it is.
Uh-huh. Brian can pull this out. It is taking a lot of damage in phase 1, though.
It is a lot. And I don't know why. I don't know where all this is coming. It's just the slow speed, I suppose. Like,
yeah.
But you gotta really utilize that that feather. And those ice walls.
Nice.
Phase 1 down for Brian. Phase 2 might be really dangerous here if he plays it too aggressive. If he you know, gets in a position where he's just caught out by all those wisps, I mean, won't have enough speed to get to cover.
I mean, okay. Ken's charging this pillar.
Oh, they re-rolled the bead at the lunar shot. That's
smart.
Very good way. I didn't know if they were going to be able to do that, so I didn't want to say it. I thought we might have maybe disabled doing that, so I didn't know. But looks like they found a creative method to get rid of the recycler.
And I saw next.
And look at that, Ruddy has a vase on the moon. Look at that. I don't know if that was a reroll, but if it is a reroll, then yeah, it is. So it's right after. So it goes recycler, saw, and then vase. So fortunately,
yep. You can see Ken's is it's in
there it is.
Stowed. But Ken's is about to finish. Holy shit! It happened.
Caught out by the wisp, man. You gotta play phase 2s like this a little bit more reserved because you can just die.
Ken's is done with pillars, so Ken's could get first here.
That's true.
You're hoping that he +5s again if you're blue team, because then you need to have Faku in third to have a chance here. Oh, that wisp is spinning.
You gotta be careful, man.
Oh, those ones are so scary.
Especially with Orb Artie, because you can't really hit it with your M2. Bright can't hit it at all, unfortunately. You gotta flame it, honestly. Alright, using your Void Band, getting the flamethrower going. Okay.
Ooh, Ruddy's in the fight now.
But you're right, we need Faku to get at least third here for blue team to still have that chance, right? So it's so unfortunate that Brian was so in the lead here, and then with that huge play, and then it just came down to +5, and now he's just with everyone else.
If either of red team +5s here, it gives blue team a window. So not even necessarily Brian. If Ruddy +5s, it does require Ken's to do this fight without dying, though. Which so far hasn't taken any damage. Playing these ice walls well. Oh, just took damage. Never mind.
Okay. It looks like Faku is up in the fights. They have the vase though, because they just finished pillars, fast enough. What do you think their plan is going to be? Saving the vase for after the fight, or just using it right now? Okay.
Yeah,
I would have just used it on the way to the fight then at some point. Just start the reroll.
Yeah, I think They can pull out a Saw Tech here. That would be a very good way to do this. I don't know. It would require some good luck here.
Yeah, I mean, also 10 minutes behind is tough for Faku.
It
But
is.
Brian is looking pretty low here already.
Struggling.
Brian does have an ice already. Oh, but doesn't use it quite right. Ah, there we go.
Okay.
Mythic's walked into it. Enter in phase 4 at the moment for Brian. Still real time, the one in the lead, but not in-game time, unfortunately.
If Freddy dies, though, that still works for Faku.
Mm-hmm. Faku's playing his ice walls very well, getting... Oh! And Ken's getting a +5. It's phase 2, man. It's phase 2.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
You just got to be so careful with this, man. I mean, look at now the position that Ken's is in, and how many wisps are just around right now. And they're really lucky that most of us are going after that gunner drone that they have. But what if they just weren't? Like, yeah.
And Brian gonna come out on top yet again.
The Brian sweep. It's kind of great. Everyone died this loadout at least one time. So.
Yeah.
Oof, man.
That's unfortunate.
Everyone having their own mistake. See, the way that Ready playing it is okay, but the wisp can gain height over you on this area over here like that. So
Freddy's also got gun now, so no more equipment.
Man, I know when to call it, I guess. You can't really be on this ramp as much. It's something about this side of the stage for some reason is not as good for this as the side of the stage counterclockwise 90 degrees over. That ramps is the best for staying on top of and behind. This ramp, Wisp will always be able to pretty much hit you above and behind it. So something to think about. But either way, I mean, that does leave room for Faku though, right? For Faku to get not last, and obviously for blue team they're not getting first here. But it doesn't mean that Faku's blunder on stage 5 is going to mean 4th place.
No. Blue team could keep the deficit the same if they get 2nd and 3rd here, which is definitely likely. Ken's is looking low though. Oh, yep, and there it is.
Yep. Those dashes. With one feather on Artie and low movement speed, you always want, like, your natural instincts might tell you, I want to hover all the time. Oh, and there's Ready for the 3rd +5.
Wow.
Your natural instincts
might
be like, hey, oh my god. Oh my god, Faku as well. Jesus. Might be telling you, hey, I want to hover all the time. But in reality, you want to double jump, hover for a bit until Mithrix is, either animation locked or out of stamina, and then drop to double jump again. You want to look for that opening. And what the feather and the hover gives you is time to get that opening. It gives you a stall for it. But if you hover too long, then Mythos is just going to swat you out of the air, unfortunately. So... And that's what we're kind of seeing here a little bit. I mean, it's not saying it's easy, but that is definitely the idea. See everyone getting close, doing pizza. Oh, fuck you, eating pizza. We're also seeing some of the racers here use Ice Wall on him during pizza, so he resets it if they're kind of comfy dodging it a little bit.
Pizza's a very scary attack, but it's consistent. When he's running around dashing at you, sometimes that's scarier than just having to do pizza.
Yeah. It depends on the situation. Looks like Faku's just trying to finish right now. There we go. Enter in phase 4.
This was a tough fight for everybody.
Just a tough one. It's just no movement speed. It was like one hoof.
Yeah.
And Brian did not even have it. So
speed has been like non-existent today.
I mean, Seeka's the storm item pools, right? So it's just kind of how it rolls a lot of the time these days. You can definitely see a vast difference in general movement speed from pre DLC and post.
Yeah. It's like one less speed item a run on average.
Is it only one? I thought it would be a little bit more, at least like 2.
Nah. I mean, maybe if you're full looting, but for a speed run, probably like 1.
Which they only usually get like 1 or 2 anyway. So
yeah. Yeah.
All right, Ready is done. Faku's done. Ken's just finishing up phase 4 here. Can Faku get into that portal? No, they're giving up. They're just going for another one. Okay. And then move speed will get you. Can't even get up on that cliff. Sad. Ooh, this one was a tough one though. Very, very tough.
This is kind of an interesting era for Risk of Resources because we're pre-item works, right?
Yep.
So a lot of the items we have in the game right now are probably just going to go extinct at some point.
Yeah. It's a good point. Like, we've already seen in the roadmap they've put out that Antlers is entirely changing. Completely. Well, I mean, it's actually a very sick rework, I think. And I mean, the fact that it's a total rework, how many other items are they going to turn? I think they showed like a little chart, like a little tier list chart in the video, but Ken's can't get in the portal. Oh, they're still gonna go for it.
So relatable. Okay, nice.
All right.
That is the most arty thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, we are probably gonna see a massive shift in the game after these phase roadmap things come out. And they said they're redoing the characters, redoing I mean, Chef specifically, they said a lot, and then redoing a lot of the boss. I mean, we could see at some point a situation where we do False Sun boss fight rushes and Risk Resources, but
that would be awesome.
We'll see when the time comes and the orders come out. And let's bring in Red Team first.
Nice. I don't even know what the score is. There were so many +5s there.
Hello, Red Team.
Hello. Just me at the moment.
Okay.
Hello.
I will say that the play that you and Brian did with the vase,
yeah,
huge.
Yeah.
Well done.
Huge.
We were wondering because we didn't see the vase. We just saw the FMP the whole game. We were like, what is he doing?
Well,
is he forgetting? But
I knew that like if he was doing it on purpose, it was for a reason. But I also was worried that he forgot because I feel like that's a very human thing to do. Because like specifically stage 3 was so kind of rough for everybody that I was like it makes sense that someone could forget. But as it got to like stage 5, I was like, it's got to be a play afoot here. It saved
a play.
5 minutes at least. Like it was a lot of time. Like that was the biggest Enigma play we've seen actually so far. So
did Ken's and Faku keep rolling equipment or they stick with Valve?
Yeah, they had a really unfortunate thing where they went and did pillars and then they got vase like immediately after.
Well, they rolled. Well, they went to the moon, and right when they spawned on the moon, recycler. So they went to soul pillars and re-rolled the lunars there, and then, but it took a while to get there, so it paused.
Wrong cast, Brian.
Oh,
hello, Blue Team.
Everybody died in Mithrix.
Not surprising. It was
at least once.
So. Now that we're all here, we'll talk about the Giga play that red team did. So stage 1, you guys got a vase. Brian held that the entire time and was 5 minutes ahead of you guys by skipping pillars.
Yeah.
Going in. So
There were
easy
two
first
vases,
place.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
In my death though, if I just waited 10 more seconds on that ramp, I wouldn't have died. It was such a dumb death.
I mean, you still got first, which is nice.
Yeah.
But
Everyone
you,
died during the fight.
I mean, Ken's at one point was ahead of you, I think. So
Yeah.
unless they died, or they did die after, but there was that moment where they were like, all right, you just lost first because you did that. But it was such a lead. It was the big play, so congrats to you guys.
Yeah. Did everyone pick up the van?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we all got absolutely like destroyed from using the van. Like next stage, it was like 3 vans.
No,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah,
van
every
was
loadout
helpful,
been
I think.
punished. Yeah, van was very.
Without the
very
van, you die there. I
There's
don't know.
there's a
I think it's
big
really helpful.
discrepancy in the times on this loadout and the previous ones. Like, people were definitely full looting. Like, I noticed you guys, stage 3, 15 minutes in, everyone's still on sulfur.
Everyone full looted sulfur pools, it looked like, I think. So
Yeah,
I lost my watches, so I had to
you
yeah,
did.
that was
dig in.
tough.
I just wanted speed or like damage reduction or something.
Yeah, I just wanted some sort of mobility so I just wouldn't lose my watches. Just wanted to
Yeah.
guarantee some safety for them.
And Faku, why didn't you pull the elders off like you learned last week?
I
You're
didn't
driving.
learn it,
You're
apparently.
driving.
I
me
told
crazy.
him to. I tried. I tried.
No, but you can do that TP with a feather. I didn't do anything of either, but
I mean, you can, but man, everyone else did pull him off. By the way, just to let you know, all the other. Well, actually, Brian pulled him up, which is a really interesting one.
Oh, that was an accident. I'm actually
Yeah.
dumbass.
Our champion, everybody.
Yeah, so far, Brian, almost a full sweep for me so far. First place, all 3. So
only.
Come on, blue team.
Yeah.
These are the Brian
Should be Fields
survivors.
Commander, right?
you gotta dethrone Brian here.
Blue team, you did prevent them from gaining more lead, though.
Which is good.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, on
That's
to the
one way to
last
look at it.
loadout. Good luck with Commando. We'll talk guys after.
Oh
Good
no.
luck.
Good luck.
Man.
Loadout 4.
Brian is just unstoppable today.
Brian is going crazy. Let's get
There's
those.
one extreme or another with him.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
It's got to feel good, though.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember talking to Brian after his last race, and he was just super disappointed with how he did.
I mean, obviously, we gotta step inside the minds of the racers here for a bit, right? Like, you are in this like very competitive situation, and there's a ton of people watching. There's like, all of your peers are watching, and if you feel like you fuck up, it's not just like, oh, I did bad, it's whatever. It's like, oh man, not only did I do bad, and like I can accept that. It's like everyone knows I did bad, and that's a lot to deal with. And that's why it's like there's always this other layer of just
Clout.
this is this cloud over the races sometimes with like, just that pressure. It's not only like do they have to play super super well, especially like in this competitive situation, but they also have to upkeep their mental from it too. It's hard. That's tough.
Yeah. You don't want to get made fun of by your toxic friends.
Yeah, true. It looks like there is a House of Night Shrine right next to TP here, which is pretty perfect, right? Like you can just do House of Night Shrine and then get the TP boss done and just immediately leave at the green portal there. If you want. There is a Void Cradle next to the House of Night Shrine as well. There's a couple equipments I've seen on the ground, which kind of less of a you know, less of a thing to go for now that Enigma's here. You always have something. But if they do get a vase or something, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously red team's play in the last run, it maybe opened some eyes a little bit on just how strong it is. I mean, to be fair though, the last run, I feel like blue team was just getting super unlucky. Like they were rolling the entire game and just never found another vase.
Yeah,
it felt like they were cycling through every equipment except that one.
It could have easily been a situation where by Brian holding on to the FMP and not getting any other equipment, it could have actually slowed down his run compared to the others.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like it was like a for sure, like, easy gamble win, but I think, oh no, speaking of Brian, he's getting kind of thrown around by this House Unite, and he uses his meter, so if he gets hit by his own meter even once, it's lights out here. Here we go. He's just trying to get the House Knight stuck. He got it. He needs to probably get this Mending Orb here to heal.
Yeah.
All right, good. Has something.
Okay.
Almost a little scary.
And a gun.
Oh.
For Faku.
But yeah, I mean, it could have gone either way. And it also could have been a situation where Ruddy found a vase a little bit later as well. And Brian could have been like, okay, I'll start to use my equipment now because I'll probably get to the vase by the time I get to the moon, so I can help out, TPs with these and that and stuff too. So I mean, it could have gone a lot of different ways, I suppose.
Here's a question: do you hold on to the gun?
What are our stages today? Wetland, RPD, and Sirens. Sirens is like a long time to hold the gun.
RPD ain't bad though.
It's not. You could get a Molten Perforator. You can get a Shatter Spleen.
Molten Perforator.
I think that's
you
something...
You can also get a red if you do stick it out.
Yeah. That's something I might think about. I don't know.
Like maybe like one person does it, but don't put all your big eggs in that basket.
Yeah. That might be what I would probably recommend if I were me and you were on a team. I don't know, it's tough because like there are some good stages coming up here, but
one thing I'm seeing immediately, there's some speed in this run. Finally.
Beautiful. A couple speed for everybody.
Multiple drinks.
Yeah, speed like red team specifically. All day
on this stage alone is like more than we've seen all day.
Especially that last loadout, like everyone's runs combined, even like Jesus.
Yeah, it was just there wasn't really any on Seeker or Huntress either. It's just their utility kind of made up for it.
And a hoof on the stage too. 2 drinks, a hoof. It looks like Faku got the gun before the TP. Oh, actually, everyone did. So I thought everyone was, for some reason, done with TP. It was just done with the House Knight Shrine. It looks like there's another gun right after.
Okay,
it's gun into gun.
There's another gun stowed. So that makes me think they found one on the map.
Yeah, there is. Right on the ground there. Okay. That makes sense. Double gun. Always use your gun here then. Free Beetle Guard. And it looks like everyone is out. Easy peasy. It looks like Ken's was just kind of wasting time to try to get that gun cooldown to go away and like might as well loot. But it looks like they're just leaving here. They're wasting the gun though, unfortunately. But it may not be a huge thing. It may be a huge thing. We don't know. Like if there's a charged perforator printer like stage 3 or something, it's like, man, I really wish I had 2 of those or something, but I don't know. We'll see.
I would try to hold on to the gun for at least until like stage 3.
It looks like that's what Faku was doing here as well. They're kind of looking and they're like, okay, I can just kill Beetle Queen pretty easy and then we'll head off from there.
Commando's such a fun survivor.
Commando's fun, man. One of my favorites. I always talk about like the bell curve of Commando. Like when you first start this game, you're like, wow, this is like such a fun game. I'm playing a cool character. He has a gun. I'm getting items. I'm having fun. And then you unlock a lot of the other characters, and then you're like, I don't think Commando's very good. He's boring. Da da da. And then you have enough playtime where you realize that
Yeah.
Commando's amazing. Like the proc system's awesome with them, and you can have some really fun builds. And then you're like, man, I love Commando. You know, you come back. We
Just
see
the
it all the
movement
time.
on Commando is, I think, some of my favorite.
Yeah, just feels
The
good.
general flow.
We can actually see Faku playing the stage very quick. I think gonna be the first one finish EP, and we'll see how much they actually loot afterwards. But it's like they're getting ready to loot. They're going up the branch to see if they can go somewhere else. I'm curious because I haven't really seen much this stage, so I wonder if there's like some hidden loot somewhere. I mean, this is one of the hardest maps to loot in the Gauntlet as well, right? Like
it is.
You have to actually go yourself to each one of the corners of the map. You can't really see it from just like a bird's eye view. Yeah, you have to look under the water. You have to look around the corners. Like,
yeah, I think if there's any stage where you can just kind of skip, make up for it on other stages, it's this one.
mm-hmm.
But you do run the risk of missing that headset.
Yep. I mean, we've seen that before. There's just like a red item on the other side of the map, and then just no one gets it. It's like, oh, okay, well.
Ooh, feather in that multi-shop.
Oh.
I'm not sure if that was a question mark or not, but...
There was a Warhorn in the key box that Ruddy had. I don't think anyone else had that, so... Interesting.
Wow, so much speed. 2 energy drinks, 2 hooves, feather.
I mean,
Faku only has 1 drink, but
they have enough mobility for Mithrix easily. Like, this is all you need.
Everybody else has 4 speed. I don't know what happened with Faku.
Maybe just didn't find it stage 1. I mean, it was all there.
It was. Everyone's getting the feather though. Looks like.
Beautiful. I mean, everyone that finds it should just be like, hey, teammate, please. Very important.
Okay.
And Faku, I said, is the first one out. So we'll see stage 3 if we want to see a gun use here or not. Do you use the gun on... I don't even... It's tough. It's tough. Because I could see an argument for using the gun on any boss on this map. But saving it for AWU might be the play. Using it only on specifically one of them, I don't know. There's a lot of choices here.
I don't think you go Mired Urn here, probably.
It might be one of those ones where Ruddy would be like, I'm taking Mern, you know? Like, it's his favorite item. But I mean, there is a lot of potential here on this one, for sure. Like, and of course, we've got to remember the chance is small, but the chance of shooting AWU with a gun and getting Empathy Core's Drone Man is possible, and that's just a game-winning choice, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That it is. You can also get stuck with Empathy Cores and the Soulbound Catalyst.
That is true. There is another equipment barrel on this map. I don't think anyone's opened that up, but imagine...
I might take that risk, though. Oh, we got an Imp Overlord, which just makes it more
of a choice. No one has crit, you know?
Okay. Faku going for it.
Yep. Getting the spleen. And this is kind of this is now in the choice for Kens. Like, if you're Kens, do you go for next stage? Do you go for the AWU gun? I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see. I don't really have an answer. Oh, there we go. Clover.
Oh, so now you go for spleen. Like, definitely, right?
Or Murph.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we know the imp's showing up. So you definitely
We do,
just
but
hit it.
next stage you could get a Murph.
I don't know though. Taking the gamble on passing the Shadow Splane here to go for a boss that may or may not show up next stage.
I mean, it's true, but Shatterscreen is a gamble too, because there's no guarantee that you're going to get crit or bleed.
Well, with Clover, you have 9% crit. That's pretty good on Mando. It's not bad. And in one crit would make
That's
it
like one
already
dagger.
like 20%.
One crit would make it worth it.
One bleed or crit, which is like 2 of the
Yeah.
common items. I don't know.
I mean,
all I need to do is stack it.
okay, there's some bleed.
Yep, there we go. Already big.
Okay. I do think that's what most people are going to do then.
And you get a recycler right after as well. So Brian is holding off on the unstable transmitter, as you should. Just re-rolling that one. It's interesting. He could have re-rolled whatever boss item he got too, because the recycler after. But
Ken's has not shot the boss yet.
looks like they might be going for Awu then, maybe, or they're just. We'll see.
I mean, blue
Ooh,
team hasn't
ATG
found the
too.
clover.
There's a lot
Let's
of
see Brian picking it up now.
a lot of stuff going on this stage.
There is. Okay. Ah. Oh, they're gonna find the clover here.
So if you are ready and you have an ocular HUD in your inventory with a spleen, what are you saving this for? Like, what does the next teleporter maybe, or maybe Awu? I mean, there's some choices.
That's not gonna be enough to kill Awu, I don't think.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, with Warhorn though, that's a lot of bleed.
It definitely gets you started if you can maintain those bleed stacks. Interesting, Ken's is still not gunning the imp even after hearing of the clover.
Going for the Awu Hail Mary, I guess.
Faku is out. Or you could just go for a Murph here. I don't know though. Spleen is probably the better call, especially if you already have a little bit of bleed.
Well, I guess Ken's would also know that there's a recycler after the gun, right? So you would, if you didn't want him to the cores, you could also reroll that too and just hope for the red. But yeah, the red team missed ATG with their clover, which is not good, unfortunately.
Oh, that's true. If you gun Awu, you have the choice of rerolling a red or a yellow.
That's true. Oh, Faku.
Oh no, what happened?
It was either, I mean, collapse, I think, was the reason they died, but it might have been a transmitter death too. It was hard to tell because they both happened at the same points.
You know what?
Mm.
This is the perfect setup for void seeding Awu.
Yeah, it's right there. It looks like Reddy's doing it.
Yeah. Oh my god. And look at the damage Faku has. The spleen was definitely the right call. We'll see. I mean, maybe there's a drone man empathy core. I'll eat my word, but
I don't know. I think spleen after, like, especially when you get the clover, like, I don't think there's any way you don't take that last stage.
I mean, the AoE alone is just so strong.
I really want to see what that red is, though. I want to see who the first one is to get it. And Ruddy has the recycler as well now here. There's so many recyclers in the rotation for Enigma.
Uh-oh, Faku.
Oh, no, this is bad.
Yeah, that's... Oh.
They got teleported into the Void Seed! Oh my god, they got out with 2 health. They almost died because the transmitter put them in the middle of the Void Seed with no health. That's insane. And it's a Tesla coil as well.
I didn't see it teleport them. I just saw them at 2 health, and I'm like, why did they go in the Void Seed?
Oh my god. That's crazy.
Gotta love transmitter.
That item is something else.
Oh no,
man.
fuck you. Fuck you.
That collapse. They're still alive, barely. They need to kill these voided enemies now.
Okay, Ken's is just killing. What are they doing with the gun? Because A was about to die. Okay.
They use the gun on a vagrant.
Okay.
A voided vagrant. I'm surprised, like... I'm very surprised here.
Okay. I mean, I guess.
Soulbound.
Yeah, that's it. Did I not say it would be Soulbound?
I think
Oh. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Tough. +5 there.
You gotta love when Transmitter just teleports your ragdolled body.
The recycler plays for red team getting the Tesla though.
Yeah. So, how long until Ken's gets recycler here?
Did they just use it? I thought they had it already, but it's like between gun and Ocular, but I don't know. It's gonna be after. There's a lot of recyclers.
Okay,
Man.
there it is. I think stowed. Use it on the Genesis loop, probably.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I think that's a smart call. If Awu was already gonna die, I would rather re-roll a Genesis loop than a Empathy Core.
Oh, I don't know. It's like I don't know if Faku was able to tell Ken's like, hey, it's this red item or not or whatever, but I would have liked to see if there was a drone man from Awu. At
Yeah.
least. And we have saver spaces, right?
Rerolling the red probably would have been better than rerolling the yellow.
Rerolling the void crit is our
Or
key
that.
to a post skip, and red team does not have that because they rerolled other stuff.
There's another reroll there. Did Ken's has 2 rerolls. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of recyclers. A lot on the stage. Unfortunate. No reroll for red team. They used too many. Interesting to see the teams use their rerolls differently and then get different things. Although I think Ken's forgot about the Genesis loop reroll.
Oh.
Unfortunately.
Well, I think safer spaces was.
Well, there was safer spaces and there was one after, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I could use it on the other one.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Oh, and then there's a recycler after the meteor. So if Ken's used the meteor right now, yes. Well, it's 2 minutes cooldown, but...
Not with the Soulbound.
Oh, true, but there's nothing left on the stage. It's after TP.
Yeah.
They are killing eggs. Does that count? Surely not. They're kind of something down there, I think.
Yeah.
Would you wait a full minute to reroll this yellow? I would not.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take it. Unfortunate.
What sucks is stage 5. It's impossible for it to spawn a yellow printer.
Yep.
So that's just what they have now. Ooh, Shuriken. I think that was from the teleporter on stage 5.
Nice.
You know, red team, I feel like they're just getting through this pretty easily.
There's a beautiful overloading Elder Lemurian sitting here. Just getting stun locked on TP. So yeah, one stun grenade on Commando was easy. Yeah.
Get that dagger on stage 3, because that would have helped out his bleed stacking potential quite a bit.
Oh,
I notice he's dropping stacks. Because he basically just has one dagger at this point.
Tiny bit less than 1 dagger. Uh-oh, Ken's between 2 elders. Uh-oh. Jesus.
Huh. Okay.
kind of holding my breath here. I mean, blue team having a death each and red team not. Just it
Yeah.
might be kind of a little bit of an echo of Loadout 1, where it's red team getting
And
first and second.
the
There's so
spleen
many
too.
elders, dude. So many.
There are. I mean, the fact that both people on red have that shatter spleen,
Mm-hmm.
that's just a
Yeah.
big advantage.
And only
Brian, I
one.
want to see him loot a little bit more, see if he can get something to use it with.
Yeah, it looks like he's going right for TP. He's pathing right into it, so.
Is Warped Echo still bugged?
I don't know. Bugged how, and what do you mean? You will get more curse for it. Is that if that's what you
Okay.
mean?
Yes, that is precisely what I mean.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, Warped Echo, when it activates, it doesn't reduce the curse stacks you take on the first activation, but then on the second activation, it makes you take more curse stacks. So you get about 50% more curse stacks every time it activates.
Very fun item. Can't say it doesn't do anything, surely. It's actually wild how many like items they added that are actively harmful to your builds.
Yeah. Like, I think Brian would have been better just not picking that up.
Brian, though, was just hoping that we get a base here. After Supermassive Leech, we get to see another reroll. Gubo. So it's going to be at least a couple minutes before...
Long cooldown.
Yeah, Brian can reroll something else. So going to just have to go right towards pillars. Unfortunately, Ruddy has still a ways to go. I think a little bit behind Brian in terms of equipment rolls here. It's just about
The
one
good
or
news
two.
is,
Hmm.
well, I guess blue team has spaces, so they can do a host skip.
Yeah, blue team is fine for their moon, but I mean,
Ken's has a gun coming up.
depending on how red team plays their moon, I mean, maybe blue team could make up their death. You know?
I'm curious. Okay, there's a drone man in soup. Ken's is chilling.
I think Brian should just throw the scuba right now,
Oh,
though,
there's
right?
a scorpion. That's really good on Mandy.
Do you lose your feather for it, though? Looks like Brian wants to.
With this much speed, I
And
think
did
I
not
would.
lose the feather. Okay.
If I didn't have speed, I wouldn't make that gamble, but Brian's got 4 and 2 mocha, so
I like Ruddy's play of taking the blast shower lower cooldown equipment. Getting a Gubo, though, still right after.
I wonder if Ruddy's in the same cycle as blue team.
I don't know. Ken's having the tonic. I don't know where that's going to show up, but it looks like they're saving it maybe for pillars or something. Baku on their moon movement should go to soup to try to start the host skip here.
Yeah. Very nice moon movement.
Clean. All right, everyone is officially on the moon. And honestly, with how things are going, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I think Brian did a really good job with pillars, though. It could have taken a lot longer. It could have been shorter, it could have been longer, but Brian Brian got these done pretty quick, so. And without too much casualty, though they are missing quite a bit of HP, so I mean, we also got to look at red team. Like, they don't have saber spaces. They don't have a lot of opals or anything, so they could end up just dying in the Mythics fight. Meanwhile, blue team has saber spaces.
I will say, though, for Brian, doing pillars was not the worst thing in the world, because it let him check soup, and now he has a scorpion.
That'll speed
and that's
up.
going to help a lot in this fight. I don't know if it'll be enough to offset pillars, but it certainly will offset it to at least some degree.
And 5 is the first one in the fight.
Ooh, if we see Ken's with the recycler here. I mean, you could try to reroll a Lunar again, but it's so far out of the way at this point.
Yeah, it's on the
You could also,
complete other side of that. Reroll some of that soup.
yeah, maybe go into a green soup or something.
Yeah. I mean, imagine you lose all of your speed though. Like,
You could.
could.
I don't know.
It's tough.
Maybe just deal with the recycler.
One thing that blue team has that I really like, it's that ATG as well. Like, even though Brian does have Scorpion, I mean, we have some good ATGs here going off.
We do. Red team is locked on gun.
That's tough. So they're done with equipment. I mean, blue team's gonna catch up to that point soon then.
Yeah.
But
Hens is there too.
because like Faku skip pillars, they have a couple equipment before gun shows up. So they do have Higubo and maybe like something else.
Brian has so much damage. I think this might be a Brian sweep here.
It might be, man.
Faku might beat him real time, but that +5.
It's always that +5. I mean,
getting into the fight
is always hard to do. Very
oh yeah,
very crazy. We've only seen a few sweeps ever, so
this
anytime
Tentabobble
plays.
Yeah, pretty much.
Tentabobble is helping a lot here, especially with Clover. Like, if you have Tentabobble Clover, it's over. For Maynard,
that's just like, one of them.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember that even like when you stack 2 Tentabobbles too, it stacks duration and percent chance to proc as well. So it's just like, I don't know why they made it do that, but it could have just chosen one of those and been fine, probably. The second on 2 axes is crazy. It's kind of like how Will-O-Wisp stacks, where it's like range and damage.
Yeah. Very stupid item that affects the final boss.
Yep. For some reason.
All right, everyone's in the fight.
Love it.
And everybody is out of equipment. Damn.
That is the one thing about Enigma, like, it does suck to get into Mythics without anything to use. But it's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of interesting, like, you know, just having to not rely on it in some situations too. Because I know a lot of people do rely heavily on equipment, which is part of the game, but it does put them in a different playing field here, definitely. Saying like, hey, you know, beat him with just what you had in your build. Go for it.
There's so many guns and recyclers this run.
This one was crazy for macro. Oh, and a nice phase 4 skip by Faku there. First one done with Mythics, but again, that +5. Tough.
Let's see. Maybe Brian dies to Tesla here.
It's possible. No phase 4 skip. I mean, it could be a Beetle Guard death as well if he's not paying attention.
No, he's standing close.
The thing about...
Oh, wait. He's fine.
Didn't they... This might have been changed recently. Didn't they blacklist Tesla from Mythics?
Oh, did they?
I think they did. I heard something about that. Also, even if not, like, you should be able to do enough damage to get Tesla back, but yeah, it would have probably started shocking at that point.
Did they nerf Nukahana?
No.
Nukahana is I think more the problem.
It is. It's the only one that can actually soft lock your run completely, which is crazy to say, but
Tesla, you could at least play around.
Mm-hmm. You can go in and let Kens know that they can kill that one in the pillar.
Okay, yeah.
Love that bug. My favorites. Look at that. Brian finishing up at 30. It's going to be about 33 minutes on that one. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Brian sweep. First place on all loadouts today. Team or not, that is very well done. I know he had a lot of support from Ruddy there. Not to take away his accomplishment or anything. Oh, Ruddy.
Oh.
Not take away it at all. He played extremely well throughout the day. But
it kind of felt like that took away.
No, I mean being able to receive enough like info from your teammate and strategize around that and to come out on top, it's crazy.
For sure. It was just funny, the timing of that.
All right, we have a little bit of a bug in the gauntlets at the last loadout. It'll black screen you. So we'll
oh, nice.
We'll give Faku the ending screen for him.
I do think that bug with the wisps in the walls, it's pretty dire.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Like, it happened twice today in 16 runs. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We'll see if we can do anything about that. Because we don't even know when the next update's going to be, so... May as well, or if it's going to have a fix for it, so... Alright, Ken's about to finish up Phase 3. Ready, done with Phase 4. What an interesting, interesting run this was, though.
He gave away his gun.
Gave away his gun. 07. Let me see here. All right, and we'll bring in a red team in a second. I don't want to push Ruddy into accidentally +5ing while he's on the ship, but
oh, the gloop.
Oh.
Oh no! Oh, a classic gloop death from Mithrix.
We haven't seen that in a while. Imagine if they just didn't pick it up.
Yeah, that's true. They only went with the gloop.
Yep.
And it killed them.
That's gotta feel particularly bad. I'm always scared that someone's gonna jump off here like what Ken's is doing, and then on the way down get hit by a pizza, which I've seen before, and then just fall to your death. There's a chance that just can happen. So
it's true.
All right, let's bring in red team. Hey.
Hello.
Yo.
So, you, Brian, have earned yourself a sweep. Congratulations, dude. And obviously, you two as a team have won today. You guys won since like Loadout 3, but you know, just to say, you guys did really well. So congrats, and Brian, extra congrats for your sweep today. If it was a normal Loadout race, you would have gotten plenty of bonus points too. By plenty, I mean 2. So, but very good job.
Yeah, as well. Huge. Been a while since we've seen a sweep.
Hopefully I keep doing them.
We almost saw Big D do one the other week, but just so barely off. And then we're bringing blue team right now. What is up, everybody? Hello. So the way this one ended up, Brian first, Faku second, Ruddy third, and Ken's fourth. That last death, I know it was painful. It didn't matter for the ranking as much, but it was fun. You were also the only one with the gloop. And like,
I mean, yeah. Why would you get the gloop?
Very interesting though. That was a fun loadout. We had, I don't know how many recyclers you guys had or how many
Dude,
guns you guys had.
So many.
That's one of the Enigma runs I want, you know. I'm just like, where are those? That was fun to see
you love your
everyone
recyclers.
everyone like play it a little bit differently. I know blue team in stage 4 used one of the recyclers on the void crit and got their safer spaces, which red team you did not get. And then
That would have been smart.
red team used it on the Tesla, or the soulbound to get Tesla. So that was fun as well.
They did pillars or?
They did pillars,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very good job. I mean, some tough loadouts in there today, but overall everyone did pretty good. It ended up being 16-8 though. It was mainly like blue team a little bit on your back foot from the first loadout, but even if you had some tie runs in there as well. But honestly, Brian was just gaming today. Like,
who is this guy?
Full sweep, dude.
Is
really
his
good
brother
job.
playing?
Really good job.
I got my big brother on to play.
Okay.
And before
Brian
we let you guys go today, Disputed has some stuff for you guys, some big announcement stuff. So up to you.
Oh yeah. So we've talked about this probably every week for the last 6 months, but we are finally updating the Risk of Resources YouTube channel. We have a video that's going out right now. I kind of talk a little bit in the beginning of the video about the plans for the channel going forward. But we're gonna try to get a video out once every 1 to 2 weeks, around that. We'll see. We're still kind of trying to figure some stuff out, but we have a video ready for you, and that should be going up right now.
Post that link in chat. We'll get everyone going to it. Make sure to give it some love. I know it's been a while and everything, but I think it's finally going to be in a good place here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's very good. It's of a previous race. It actually was a race a little bit long enough ago that you might not have remembered what happened in it. So check it out. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
As for the other stuff today, as usual, if you guys enjoyed the races today, make sure you join the Discord. That is when I'm going to let you guys know when the next one is going to be and all that good stuff. You can play with our mod, updated or down patch. You can go to the speedrun.com leaderboards and start playing your gauntlet, gauntlet category that we have on there, the official one for our races here. And if you guys want to apply to be a racer, we just had another racer be accepted recently as well, into the train program. And I know Brian and Ken's are, two people that have gone in the train program and came out as awesome racers, especially recently. So go apply. We'd love to see your applications in there. And as always, go check out that YouTube video. And we'll see you guys next week for the next Loadout race. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Everyone say goodbye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.